Hey, you Potter Than Hell junkies. This is Carl Kennedy from the Rods in Kennedy. You're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with the metal encyclopedias themselves, Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan on the keyboards. Crank it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hey, Potter Than Hellions, welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host, and I am joined this week by
BC.
And next to him is
BB.
And across the table on the keyboards, one-handed, this evening is
Dylan.
And we have a special guest tonight. We had this guy and his partner on, I think, once or twice. I think at least
Yeah,
we
at
had
least
you guys
definitely
on
once.
Once, and we've done live streams with these guys. We have the handsome part of the Shout It Out Loudcast, our friend Tom Gigliotti. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Excited to be here as always.
Hey, it's great to have you. And I had to say your last name because I remember back in the day when Sonny and Steven used to read the people on the thing, Sonny would always say Tom Gigliotti.
Oh, I had to correct him so many times.
Yeah, and I'm like it's Gigliotti. It's Gigliotti because like we have Gilottis in our town. Actually, Dylan graduated with a guy, and his last name is Gigliotti. And
Nice.
I'm like, that's how you fucking say that name. So
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. You did it correctly. I'm very happy. That never happens.
Absolutely. It's a Carbondale name. See that?
Yeah.
We
There you
know
go.
our
All right.
people here. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Tom, welcome. For those of our listeners that don't know about you and your podcast, fill them in.
Okay, so myself and my longtime friend, college friend, Zeus, we are the co-hosts of the Shout It Out Loudcast. We're an all-Kiss podcast because there's not enough of those out there. And we drop new episodes every Saturday, and then once a month, with the help of our friend Sonny Hollywood Pooney, we do bonus episodes where we pick a non-Kiss album, usually in the rock, metal, grunge genre, and kind of break those albums down. We do those once a month. We started those at the beginning of this year. January was our very first one. We did Appetite for Destruction. Our most recent album was A Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains, and then we dropped a bonus episode where we recapped all 10 albums, ranked the songs, got into all kinds of stats. We did it with our Kiss podcast, too. We did 10 albums, and Steve, you joined us on the live cast version of that review. So yeah, if you're into Kiss, we come at it from a kind of a comedy angle. We love the band, but we're not afraid to know that there's plenty of things to laugh about with the band. But we're diehard fans of the band since we were kids. So if you haven't heard of us, check us out. Shout It Out Loudcast.
Yeah, check those guys out. I've mentioned them several times on the podcast, and like Tom said, we've done a bunch of live streams with those guys and with Sonny and Steven from Grown Up Rock. Just a great bunch of guys. And like you said, there's a ton of Kiss podcasts out there, but these guys tell it like it is, and kind of like we do. Like you call them out on their shit, like we like to do, and I love the honesty of it. It's just it's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. And that's why we're fans of your show, and we're fans of like Grown Up Rock with Steven and Sonny. We're all huge music fans, but you got to have a little bit of sense of humor. You got to be honest. You got to be able to laugh and joke. I mean, nobody wants to listen to a music podcast and just have it sound, like some kind of NPR talk show. Have a little bit of fun. A little bit of pop culture. Jokes. Everybody's friends, so it just makes it that much more enjoyable for us and hopefully for the listeners too.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been listening to you guys since you guys started out. I'm like these guys they're a different kind of podcast. I like it. I like like I said, I like the honesty, and and I like the you guys do like not your obvious topics a lot of times too, and I like that, and you're not afraid to blast Pandemic Paul or Gene or any of them for their shit.
Brutal.
Yeah, and actually,
don't even get me going.
For those of you that don't know who Pandemic Paul is, listen to the Shout It Out Loudcast, and you will hear it like bright and early in the episodes within the last probably 3 or 4 months.
Yep, exactly. COVID took over, and he took away the Star Child and gave us Pandemic Paul instead. So
Yep, and he shows up almost daily now on Twitter.
Yes.
I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Brutal. I agree. Don't talk about it.
All right, so how's my posse here? What's up, guys? Dylan, you are injured.
Yeah. Broke my elbow, so I'm podcasting with one arm. That's everybody's always like, oh, I could do this with one hand tied behind my back.
You're like the Rick Allen of podcasting now.
Rick Allen of podcasting. Wow, that was.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
He was waiting all day to say that.
Am I gonna keep the hand or not? I don't know. Jesus. Yeah, I guess I am. I guess that's pretty apt, but yeah.
How about you, BC? You look a little fucking shot tonight.
I am shot tonight. Ugh, what a week. I just can't get a break. Truck problems, everything. Just keeps snowballing.
Fucking poor guys walking down the fucking street to the podcast.
Are you on the bike? Did you walk?
Didn't call the Uber. Didn't call.
We
Didn't
would have
take his
fucking
bike.
picked you up. You fucking
Fucking
jackass.
walking down there, you could have got mugged.
Oh my God.
I love to walk.
Well, see, that's why I'm glad I got the beer, because someone would have mugged you and we wouldn't have had beer.
Well,
Okay, are you walking because you got pulled over last time? Is that why you're walking?
No. No. I mean, that won't stop me. Come on. I mean, I miss walking, so I just want to walk.
Okay.
Felt good.
Do you want to ride home?
No.
Took a walk around the world to ease his troubled mind.
Yeah, I guess so.
walking
Well, at least you're not
Wow.
walking 25 miles home.
1 mile.
It's only a mile. Okay.
All right.
How about you, BB?
I'll follow him home just to make sure he makes it.
We'll just drive behind
I'll
him.
go real slow.
I'll drive in front. You drive
I'll
behind.
put the four ways on. It'd be like he's running a marathon or something.
be
He's the very last one.
It'll be like Forrest Gump. Everybody's following up.
Exactly, right? And,
Turns around.
How about you, BB?
same shit. Working like a dog. Went to see my son at Penn State last weekend, which was cool because I haven't really seen him in about 7 weeks. So he's doing really good and had a good time.
Nice.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I've been doing all right. My wife and I went away for the weekend, just a quick little thing, and bought some vinyl and just did some shopping and hanging out and shit. It was a good time.
Oh, we have to say happy anniversary, even though we're a day late
That's right.
to the Gelatis up
Yesterday
there.
was Tom and his lovely wife Bridget's anniversary yesterday, and that we're recording today is Hollywood Pooney's birthday today.
Oh, that's
so
right.
happy birthday, Sonny!
Happy birthday, Sunday.
Thank you for the anniversary wishes. There's a lot going on this week. Anniversaries, birthdays, people smashing elbows on skateboards.
It has been very eventful. We didn't even start talking about any cool music shit. Right?
I know.
Absolutely. That's all right. So we'll do what we do with all of our guests and ourselves. Tom, what have you been listening to these days?
So, like most people with the recent passing of Eddie Van Halen, been kind of, I listen to Van Halen all the time pretty much anyways, but really spending a lot of time kind of just burying myself in their music. I have pretty much all the vinyl. Unfortunately, you have to try to find like used copies on eBay because they're out of print, or now they're really unavailable with the passing of Eddie. So doing a lot of that. And then other than Van Halen, been spending a lot of time with Metallica S&M 2. I really liked the first one, but this one is just spectacular. I know it's been out for a little bit, so it's not necessarily new music, but I've been spending a lot of time with that. I love it. And then I started going down, getting into the rabbit hole of that kind of stuff. And I revisited Kiss Alive 4 Symphony. I know that one takes a hit because people like, Kiss ripping off another idea by another band. It's really good. I like it. I'm a big fan of that orchestra mixing with the hard rock metal sound. I think it's really amazing. But the Metallica S&M 2 is just awesome. If you were a fan of the first one, you got to go and check out the second one. So I've been spending a lot of that. My favorite bands, and then obviously, shuffle, listening to the same old stuff, with the exception of some of this stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight too. We're going to get into that.
All right, cool. How about you, BB?
Yeah. Like I said before, I was out visiting my son at Penn State. I found an actual little hole-in-the-wall vinyl store. So I picked up White Snake, Slide It In, Great
Excellent.
Whites,
Excellent.
Once Bitten, and the
excellent.
self-titled Kingdom Come. So I've been spinning them on the record player. Fucking fantastic albums. And this place was so cool. He had like a whole bunch of like old books. He had a lot of really cool stuff. And I almost pulled the trigger. He had a $45 vinyl of Smashes, Trashes, and Hits just to have it. I'm like 45 is a little bit little steep.
You can get it cheaper on eBay.
But yeah, it was the first time I actually ever saw that one. I'm like, I'll let it sit there until let somebody else get it.
Was it the picture disc or was it just the regular?
It was just a regular.
Regular. Yeah, you can get it cheaper on eBay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I've been listening to, and of course, with, like Tom is, I'm still playing Van Halen out the wazoo. So
Yep. Nice. Good call with that Great White Once Bitten, man. That's all. I have slided in on vinyl too, but I'm trying to find Once Bitten, and I have a hard time finding it on eBay for a respectable price. But that's a killer album.
Honestly,
this one was 15.
Honestly, I just
passed
passed one up for $20 the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, good. All right, I'll have to give it another look.
I don't know why I didn't get it. I'm kicking myself in the ass now. How are you doing?
Well, besides the terrible flashbacks that BB gave me when he mentioned Kingdom Come, I've been doing what has become my annual tradition of listening to Ice Nine Kills' The Silver Scream album. Great, awesome album that's perfect for October. Every song is about a different horror movie. They have cool little references in there, and they're coming out with a live album right at the end of the month, so they're a good spooky band to get me into the spooky month.
Maybe Santa Claus will bring the vinyl for you.
Yeah, maybe. The blood splatter vinyl.
How about you, BC?
I've been doing if I'm home, I'm doing the Spotify. If I'm in the truck lately, I've been doing the Queensryche Verdict, some Starwood, and trying to think what else. Between those two in the truck, Spotify when I'm home.
Nice. I'm glad you're getting into Spotify.
BC,
really proud of you.
Tom probably doesn't know who Starwood is, so why don't you tell Tom who it is in case he wants to pick it up for himself?
Tom, you don't know who Starwood is?
I thought you were talking about like the Starwood Club from like the 70s. I have no idea what Starwood is.
No, Starwood.
That's what BC gets when he puts Paul Stanley's solo album on. Is
I get some Starwood.
I get Starwood. Oh, sorry, BC.
Tell me what it is.
It's cliff notes of it. It's pretty much a form of the Lizzie Borden band with a different guitarist.
Okay.
And a totally different sound, though, not his usual stuff. I don't know. It's
You
more.
might actually kind of like it, Tom, because it's kind of grungy and it kind of sucks.
It's
thanks,
totally
Tom.
different.
I don't know what kind of backhanded compliment that was. Thanks, buddy.
No, I had to bust about the grunge. Yeah, that's cool though. I listened to it. It is different.
Totally
It's
different.
It's not Lizzie Borden. That's for sure. I actually picked it up on. Well, it's only available on CD, so I picked that up a while ago. It's different. It's different. And for me, I've been listening to actually, and I was very surprised I liked this album. It came out last week, the new Blue Oyster Cult album. I've never in my life listened to a full Blue Oyster Cult album, except for like a live one all the way through.
They're a good band.
And I listened to it, and I actually fucking like it. I'm like, wow, there's a couple songs that were really, really good on there. There were like one or two that I was like, it's okay. Not like not total skippers, but it's called The Symbol Remains. That's actually, I was shocked that it was as good as it is. Which I don't know why, because I really haven't listened to much besides Godzilla and Don't Fear the Reaper and I'm Burning for You, whatever.
Hits.
Yeah, the hits. All right, there's what we're listening to. Tom's got some Van Halen. I think we all have some Van Halen going. I don't think there's no one here that hasn't listened to Van Halen.
Well,
and actually,
I think Tom said you listen to Van Halen all the time.
I know, I do too. And
little extra.
yeah.
A little extra.
Tom, Sammy or Dave?
Dave,
Yes.
I love samey material, but for me, it's not even.
All right, I'm a Dave guy too. BB's.
I teeter. I really do.
BB teeters.
And and it sounds stupid because a lot of people are just because when I ended up finding them out in '84 and then '86 5150 comes out, like that's my wheelhouse of just throwing like music, cassette CDs all over the place, and
Yep.
I teeter. I really do. I like both of them for different reasons.
Oh yeah, they're different bands.
All right. Yeah, and guys out there, I apologize. Our internet connection is fucking terrible here, so Tom was kind of garbled on that, but he's a Dave guy.
Okay, it's anyways, even with good internet, so don't worry about it.
All right, so Tom's got some Eddie Van Halen. We all have some Van Halen, whether it be Sammy and or Dave. I always
You can
bust.
sprinkle a little Gary in there. Why not? A little dirty water
Gary's-
dog, you
Gary's
little
thrown-
son of a bitch.
God.
Yikes.
I got nothing for that. I got nothing for that.
Yeah,
seriously.
nope.
BB's got some White Snake, some Great White and Kingdom Come for Dylan. Dylan has some Ice Nine Kills, Silver Screen. What?
Why'd you say for? Oh,
because you love Kingdom Come. That's why. BC's rocking some Spotify and Queensryche, The Verdict, and some Lizzie Borden side projects, Starwood. And I've got some Blue Oyster Cult going and some Priest Live. So check those out. And as you guys see by the title, we're going to be talking about some, in quotations, hair metal albums tonight. And there's a million ways you can define hair metal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a derogatory term, all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. I pretty much, the way I looked at it was, if they play the band on fucking Hair Nation on XM, they're good to go.
It's like what the Supreme Court defines as pornography. You know it when you hear it.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know.
It's when you see it, but...
Oh, okay. All right.
But
if you think it's porno,
see...
it's porno. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So if you think it's hair metal, it's hair metal. I kind of like that. All right. So we did our scientific method here, as we usually do, and we picked from BB's cock hat tonight.
Well, you told me not to bring the Raider hat. I can't wear the Red Sox hat, so I had to
I don't mind this one.
break out the old cock hat.
I don't mind that one.
Maybe next time I'll bring out the Black Label hat.
All right, so we did our scientific method. We picked out a BB's hat, and he picked himself. So you're
Sure,
up.
why not?
What do you got for us?
Instead of saving the best for last, we picked the best one first, BC.
We'll see.
All right. I have no clue how I picked this one. I kind of wanted to keep it in Uncle Tom's wheelhouse here because there's a lot of Kiss reference to this album. But the album I picked was from the band Black and Blue. The album's called Nasty Nasty, released August 1986. And the guys on this album, everybody knows Jamie St. James on vocals, Tommy Thayer, Kiss Boy on guitar, Jeff Warner on the rhythm guitar, Patrick Young is on bass, Pete Holmes is on the drums, and sometimes we have a little keyboard, which will be played by John Prudell. And is produced by who? Gene Simmons from Kiss.
That's right. Gene Simmons from Kiss.
And for $29.95, you could say my name again. And we have a little guest vocal appearance on the closing song from Peter Criss. Does not play the drums. He adds a little vocal background to that song. So opens up with the song Nasty Nasty. Once again, here we go. We're gonna pull the Kiss thing out of the hat here. It just sounds just like Domino. Just like Domino. You're just playing old air guitar to Domino for this opening track.
No, this was out first. Kiss copied off of
I
fucking
know.
Black and Blue.
Oh, right. Oh, I know. But this is where Gene copied. Gene copied this. Yes. Jamie St. James high vocal screams on this throughout the song. This song, you know what you're going to get this album pretty much. A lot of these songs are pretty much the same right out of the gate. Kick-ass rockin' tunes. Except for song number 2, All I Want.
Yikes.
I want it all, I want it now. I wish this was a little bit deeper in the album because it just doesn't fit number 2. I wish they pulled a couple songs up and they maybe put this maybe 4 or 5. But it's all right. It slows down Nasty Nasty, that's for sure. It really takes the winds out of the sails. But still, you have some great vocals. The solo's great in it. But like I said, it just doesn't fit that. It doesn't fit the number 2 spot. Song number 3, She Does or Doesn't She? There we go. We pick right back up. There's a cool guitar groove throughout the song. We got more Jamie's high scream vocals. We got really cool guitar riffs in this. This song is pretty prominent on Hairball John. If you guys out there have the app, it's a great app for hair metal music. But this is probably one of the more known songs, if you would say, off the album. Song number 4, Kiss of Death. This one's fast right out of the gate, probably the best song in the album. Kick-ass riff to start, more screaming vocals again, but they're sung a little bit faster. Definitely the fastest song that we heard so far on the album. There's some cool stop and go parts in the solo, and then it kicks in, And once that solo kicks in, it's definitely the best solo on the album. The outro solo with the keyboards are really, really cool too in that song. Song number 5, 12 O'Clock High. It's funny how it starts because Jamie's got some balls to sing with no, a cappella, a little background. It's kind of a little, as that Randy Jackson used to say, it's a little pitchy, dog. But once the music kicks in, it's actually pretty good. The drums on this song are really fantastic. They're out front. And once again, it's another kind of a fast-paced song right out of the gate from that. Song number 6, Do What You Want to Do. Another rockin' song. Got some great gang background vocals in there. And then when you have like lyrics with sex and rock and roll, I want it all, or I'm feeling young, I like to use my tongue, it kind of fits, and I like it. It slows down a little bit towards the end. There's like a bluesy riff at the outro solo, which is really, really cool. Definitely an ear catcher on that. Song number 7, I'll Be There For You. Doesn't fit this album at all. It's definitely doesn't fit at all. I hate it. It's not Black and Blue. So it has to be one of those songs that Gene wanted out there to fish for the radio hit. But it definitely the skipper of the album. Song number 8, Rules. This song, finally, they get the pedal back to the floor. Another fast-paced song. A little darker than all the rest of the songs. There's a little background whisper vocals in that, so it makes it a little bit like dark and spooky. And then song number 9 to close out the album, The Best in the West. It's a cool. There's some cool slide guitar work in this song. But there's some really stupid background like crowd noise that they throw in this song, which is pretty stupid, which I don't understand. And I thought it was a horrible song to actually close out the album.
Peter Criss wanted it that way.
Peter Criss, I guess he wanted it that way, because let me tell you, he sprinkled Peter Criss on that, and it just horrible album closer.
It's like putting fucking salt in milk.
Ugh, yeah. The whole gallon and drinking it. But there it is. Like I said, it's just one of those, pulled it out of the air just to talk about Black and Blue. I think they're one of those bands that nobody really talks about. But, to this day, I think they have some good stuff out there. Definitely their first 3 albums. This is number 3 in their catalog. They have some good stuff. It is just maybe I picked the wrong out of the 3, but
They're still playing, too.
That's true. Exactly. So let's see what you guys have to say.
All right, Tom, what do you think, buddy?
So I don't really know too much about Black and Blue. Obviously, everybody knows about Tommy Thayer and the song that they play on Whole Teen. I know that. I knew nothing about this album, so I was actually like, and I like that. I like when, even with the bonus episodes sometimes we do on Shout Out Loudcast, if one of us picks an album that we're not familiar with, I like that because I'm like, okay, I can learn, find out about a band that I don't know much about. I think BB said it the best. I think there are some good songs on this, but I think, for an album to have only 9 songs and to have quite a few of them be kind of misses instead of hits, the lead track, Nasty Nasty, I think that's a great lead off. And like you said, it's straight out of Domino. And then if you also continue listening, the lead riff during the solo, that's from Only You off of The Elder. So you get the riff from Domino, and then you get the riff from Only You off of The Elder. So you get Gene Simmons kind of, stealing a little bit and borrowing a little bit from Kiss there. I think there's a couple songs. 12 O'Clock High, I think, is a pretty cool song. That ballad that you mentioned, I'll Be There For You, or whatever, ballad or whatever you call it, just brutal. Just sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't know what they were trying to do with that. But the band sounds good. I mean, you can tell. There's a reason why they had a little bit of popularity during this era. But it's not a hugely great album, I think. But for the songs that are good, I enjoy them.
Dylan.
I was really disappointed when I listened to this because their version of I Want It All, it sounds nothing like Queen's version. It's not even close. Their cover of the Rembrandt's "I'll Be There For You." Where was the clapping? I didn't hear any clapping.
No.
But this was an album that I knew more songs than I thought I did going into it, which was cool. I like being like, oh, that's where that song came from. Another album kind of hit that for me as well in this episode. But I think I have to agree. There's a lot of kind of misses. I don't think I'll Be There For You is a good ballad. There's very few ballads tonight that I truly like that we're going to be talking about. That's not one of them. But Nasty Nasty's great. And I wonder if it was a deal between Gene and Tommy. It's like, we'll use that riff and you could guitar tech for us.
Yep.
And that's what allowed the domino riff to get transposed over to that. But I like Does She or Doesn't She? Nasty Nasty's really great. There's some good stuff on it. The guitar playing is fantastic. Tommy Thayer does a kick-ass job on it. And for it's a short album, so even if you're not a huge fan of everything, it doesn't overstay its welcome, I don't think. So not too bad. I'll say it was not too shabby.
Not shabby.
All right, BC.
Come on, baby. How can you go around Black and Blue? I've been on Black and Blue's fan train or bus or whatever since they came out.
He's pulling their train.
Pulling their train. Or starting the train.
Somebody has to.
Running the train.
Running the train. But I've been on since day one with these guys. I mean, I don't know. They're just one of those bands that didn't get everything together right, I guess. I don't know if it was management, production, music. I don't know.
It definitely was not the producer.
It was not the producer because they paid good money for Jane Simmons. Anyways, I mean, this is their third album, which a strong album. I mean, 7 out of the 9 songs I really like. They said that ballad is just... It's almost like a little kid's piano to be. I don't know. That is painful. And I agree with BB. I want it. I want it now. It's just if that was later on in the album, maybe.
Throw it like.
Because you come out with Nasty, and then
put Kiss of Death there. Put I want all I want it now like at 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah, easily.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot too. About whether we're talking Kiss albums or bonus episode albums, track listing matters. I mean, because you can't have a lead off song like Nasty Nasty and then just fall flat with track 2. You got to kind of come out of the gate right. 1-2 punch, and they didn't do it on this. That you were right on that with
definitely.
You got to come out with 3 strong.
Even that.
Boom,
yeah,
boom, boom,
left,
yeah.
right, and then boom.
Yep.
And then you could go a little mid.
Yeah, then you throw your piss song in there.
Right. Well, we're gonna talk about an album that does fucking exactly that later on. For me, I like this album. I've always liked the Nasty Nasty's a cool start, good rocker. And I even have written down Only You is the underneath the solo part of the song. I want it all. I like it. I like that song.
Wow.
I think it's fun.
No, we're not saying
Yeah.
It's just the.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it in the 2 slot there.
No,
does she or doesn't she? I think that would have been the better second song.
Yes.
He's been drinking all day.
I've only had 5 beers.
5 too many.
Does she or doesn't she? I fucking love it. It's my favorite black and white song. It has such a great feel. Black and blue, black and white, whatever.
Green,
You're not helping your kid.
blue on black, whatever the fuck this is.
The red and the black.
Are you sure it was only 5 beers?
Well, they were pounders.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's my favorite black and blue song. It's got a cool melodic dual solo and a Kiss of Death is fucking awesome. Do What You Want to Do is cool. I like that one. It's got a cool chorus in it. There's like a bass part like right after the solo that's really cool. I'll Be There For You. It is brutal, but if you listen to the album Without Love that came before this, they have a song there called Miss Mystery. Fucking I'll Be There For You is like fucking
1,000 times better.
Yeah, it is true.
Sweet Child of Mine compared to that.
That is true.
It's fucking, but it still sucks bad.
There weren't no further ballots.
Yeah. Rules is okay. Best in the West,
Meh.
terrible.
Terrible closer. Meh.
Ron Keel's drives me fucking crazy. I want to jump out the fucking window when I hear that. And Peter Criss's, I think he was trying to get the feel of the shit that he throws in during the chorus of Nothing to Lose.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's what I got from that, and it fell way fucking short.
That's all he knows.
It was just I want to know if he was doing that when Gene was in the fucking studio. I'm gonna say probably, right?
Probably,
you would
yeah.
think, right? He was the producer.
He's the producer.
So Gene's probably like, he's gonna sound like an ass on this. Yes. But I don't mind the album, and I agree. It's not a total fucking home run. It's maybe a double with a runner on base, maybe.
Ground rule double, maybe.
Yeah, but a little Texas Leaguer that drops in there. But it does. This brings back a lot of memories for me for this album because this came out the year that I graduated high school. So I did party to this a lot. Dylan, block your ears. I banged my girlfriend to this a lot back in the day. It was fun. It was happening then. I had it on cassette. It was one of those clear. Remember, BC was one of them clear cassettes. So
when they first started coming out, you're
not bad. I was surprised when you picked this album, though. Not bad. Not bad.
You gotta talk a little black and blue every once in a while.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, hey, I don't mind shabby.
the only album I know.
Yeah, so and Tom, I think you hit it on the head too when you said that for an album with only 9 songs on it, there's too many misses on it. I think.
Yeah, it's not like when we talk Kiss. You know, you talk about Hot in the Shade. Obviously, me and you, Steve, we love Hot in the Shade. But a lot of people's complaints is, too many songs. All right, if you have 15 songs, it's okay if you have 3 or 4, misses. When you have an album with 9 songs, you should really be nailing almost all of them.
Yeah,
because nine songs is a short album.
Right, and if you take the songs you don't like off of this album, you pretty much have a semi-long EP.
Or a single.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we got one down. We got a couple more to go here. Tom, you are up next. What do you got for everybody?
All right, so one of my favorite bands of all time, seen them in concert a bunch, and that is Tesla. And we're going to talk about the Great Radio Controversy, their second album released February 1st, 1989. Just a spectacular album. I could spend all night talking about this. Anybody listening to this show, and I know you guys, everybody's a Tesla fan, and just kind of a little sidebar before I kind of get into the album. So talking like hair metal, like Steve, you kind of hinted at it a little bit. It's kind of like when Zeus and I, when we talk about grunge, whatever you think about grunge, anytime you have like a genre term that kind of, that puts an umbrella over bands, it kind of doesn't do it justice because, Tesla is hair metal. That's what people call them. They play them on Hair Nation, but they don't have a lot in common with Black and Blue or some of the other bands we're going to talk about. It's like with grunge, Pearl Jam doesn't sound like Nirvana. Nirvana doesn't sound like Alice in Chains. They all put them under that umbrella, which is fine. But sometimes I get a little defensive because I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great like sleazy hair metal band, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute, Tesla's like a fantastic band. Don't call them hair metal.
Right,
and they are,
and they get lumped in with shit a lot of times.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because people hear hair metal and they think of I don't know, Pretty Boy Floyd. Sorry, BC. What?
But
so back to Tesla. So yeah, this is their second album, and you got Jeff Keith on vocals, Tommy Sciacca on guitars, the tremendously underrated, amazing Frank Hannon on guitars. I can't say enough about this guy. So underrated. Brian Wheat on bass and Troy Lucetta on drums, another tremendously underrated drummer. I'm a huge fan of pretty much everything Tesla does. Mechanical Resonance, their debut album, is the one for me. But this is probably 1B, and Mechanical Resonance is 1A. So you start off with Hang Tough, great moody intro to the album. And then the song just rips in, The chorus is a little bit, but the song itself is just killer. Then you go to track 2, Lady Luck. Another, just the guitars, the riffs that they just blast on this. Great chorus on this one. Jeff Keith's vocals just burning it up on this. And then we're talking about track listing here. Then you get to number 3, the big super hit off this was Heaven's Trail, No Way Out. Just an unbelievable crunchy riff. The vibe of this song, another killer chorus with Jeff Keith just wailing away. Then we I'd probably say the one bump in the road for me on this album is the next song, and that's called Be a Man. The lyrics are just a little corny for me for Tesla. It's pretty much that's not what I want to hear. Musically, it's great because it's Tesla. Then you move to number 5, Lazy Days, Crazy Nights. Another like slow kind of. It's not an upbeat rocker. It's kind of a laid-back rocker. And then you go to number 6, Did It for the Money. Another song with kind of some interesting lyrics. Another catchy chorus, another ripping song. And you go to number 7, Yesterday's Gone. One of the rare kind of really faster, upbeat, killer tracks on this one. Then you go to number 8, Making Magic. kind of a sleazy song. The verses. Jeff Keith's vocals kind of has a little bit of that Steven Tyler kind of sleaze. Then you get into another catchy chorus. Then number 9, just one of the great standout tracks of the hair metal era that you hear on the radio all the time. The way it is, it just shows you the versatility of the band musically and vocally with this one. I love it. And then number 10 might be my favorite song on the album, and that's Flight to Nowhere. Starts off really moody, kind of has that little intro, with a little bit of picking. You hear the drums, and then all of a sudden, it's just like shot out of a cannon. It just comes in with one of the greatest chug along riffs that you've heard in a hard rock hair metal song. I just love it. And then of course we get to number 11, Love Song. My opinion, probably the greatest power ballad of the era. Just an absolutely perfect song for me. The intro, and then it kicks in, just terrific. Number 12, Paradise, another standout track. There's so many standouts on this album. And there's a reason. There's a reason why it did so well. I mean, it charted number 18 on the Billboard 200. Love Song hit number 7 on the mainstream rock tracks. It hit number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. I mean, for a band like Tesla, granted it was 89, but still. Then you finish up the album with number 13, Party's Over. Great album ender. Another kind of a slow groove with a great chorus. And I think this is a perfect example of what Black and Blue did not do, where the track listing and the setup of these songs is just spectacular. Come out with a bang, end with a bang, mix it up in the middle. Just a perfect album for me. I'd say Be a Man is probably the only bump on the road, but even that I can get through it because everything else I just love.
All right, Dylan, what do you think?
So I like Tesla. They burned me one too many times by not playing Coming At You Live Electric every single time. I've seen them 3 times. I've never seen them play Coming At You Live Electric, which is bullshit.
Dylan, it's funny. Let me jump in and bump you out here. The last time I saw them a year or 2 ago. I've seen them a bunch of times. They actually opened with that.
I know.
And it was electric, and it blew the roof off the place.
Because that was the first ever song I heard from them. I remember watching their live DVD and being blown away by this amazing back and forth guitar work. I've never seen them play it live, and it's so frustrating.
Yep.
But this is a good album. I like a lot of the stuff on this album. I'm a little burnt out on Love Song personally. I've just heard it so many times on the radio, but I can appreciate the structure. I can appreciate just how the song goes. I can understand why it's a hit. One complaint I have is I wish the kick-in in Paradise happened a little sooner, because the last part of that song is phenomenal. I love that they go into this awesome jam with less than a minute left in the song. It's just such a blistering kind of thing for Tesla, and I really enjoy that. I have to agree with you. Flight to Nowhere is a ripping, cool, heavy song, and I almost had to do a double take because I almost didn't believe it was Tesla. It just sounded so different for them. And I think the one good thing about this album is that if your mind starts wandering, Frank Hannon and his soloing is always going to bring you back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. He's amazing.
If I'm getting a little bored with the way the song's going, there will be a solo that'll just pull me back into it. Because the album is a tiny bit long compared to some of the other albums that we listened to today, but I think the band is just on fire too. It's a really, really solid album.
Every time Dylan's out, Frank Hannon pulls him back in.
Exactly.
Tesla. I mean, again, like Black and Blue, I'm on board with Tesla since day one with that cranking debut album. And
Chemical Resonance.
When you come to their second release, everybody's like, can they top it? I think they didn't top it, but they continued the road that they were going. It's a solid album. I have to agree. I mean, most songs it's steady throughout. I think Love Song, you're just so sick of hearing that. Be a Man, musically it's good, but standouts on this would be Flight to Nowhere, Paradise, Did It for the Money, and of course Heaven Trail. How can you not love that guitar working out song? But great pick.
Yeah, definitely, Tom, a great pick. First of all, I want to say to Dylan, thank you for putting our Spotify playlist together from all these albums. But Wrighty, I'm going to ask you a question. Out of all the songs that were on that great set, that great playlist that Dylan made for us, what do you think is the only song that I skipped?
Probably the same fucking song that I skipped, Love Song.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, because we've heard it a bazillion times. You don't need to hear it again.
I think that's what it is. I think Love Song, and believe me, when it came out, it was such a great song, but it was just so jammed down your throat. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you,
MTV.
yeah, Tom, you already hit it. Like the MVP of this podcast tonight is Frank Hannon. Frank Hannon fucking blows the door off of every guitar player on every album on this fucking podcast tonight. Fucking fantastic. Probably the 1-2 punch for me on this album is definitely Yesterday's Gone. It's such a hard rockin' toe tapper. It's catchy. The gang vocals and like the solo is just as Sonny would say for his birthday, then I add a little bit. It's like sick bananas. Like the solo in that is fucking sick bananas. But my favorite song on this album is definitely Paradise. It's such a building song. You got the piano and the guitar, which I'm such a sucker for. The outro solo is fucking mind-blowing. But this is one of those albums, front to back, skipping song 11 is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and it's funny, Frank Hannon, I think just because of the era of Tesla with all those shredders, he just gets buried. You'd never hear any. I mean, you throw out all those big names from the mid to late '80s. Everybody, you throw Frank Hannon, it can be like, I don't know who that is.
Exactly,
and it's a shame because. And then watching him live, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen Tesla a few times. I mean, he's mesmerizing watching him live. I'm like, it's just a shame that people don't know this name more because he's just spectacular. And like you said, on this album, he just burns it up.
So do you think maybe from, what was that, 5-man acoustical jam? Do you think that album that was so far out there that put them on the radio and MTV and all, think that album kind of ruined them?
No, well,
being thrown in that hair metal guitar god, if you want to call it that.
I think it could have. It
with
could have.
signs
right.
and.
Yeah, it could have, because a lot of those guys, nobody was doing that. I mean, you didn't have Rat doing that, you didn't have Dawkins doing that,
right.
You know. And I'm going to be careful to compare Frank Hannon to Warren DeMartini and George Lynch. I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying, you know, maybe that did, maybe that. I mean, obviously, 5-man acoustical jam brought in a whole bunch of fans who would have never even heard of these albums. But sometimes those things have the flip side too, you know.
Yeah.
It might have been like an extreme situation with More Than Words or a Mr. Big situation with Be With You.
Yeah, good point. Yep, yeah. Dylan, good point with that.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that you don't hear Frank Hannon's name in those guitar players because he's not one of those guitar players. He's not a shredder.
No.
He's just a fucking fantastic guitar player. He's more of a...
It's like a gunslinger.
Like a gunslinger type, like not a shredder, not a flashy guy, but more like a Blackmore than like an Yngwie. Even though
he's he's almost even more like a Joe Perry, like just like a riff guy.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
He's
like,
not
who can
a shredder
solo
like
when he has to.
Yeah, you can't put him in a category of shredders. He is just so solid of a guitar player, and I think that's why he's never in that conversation, because he's not that guy.
Yeah, he's
not that
Good
George
point.
Lynch. He's not that Warren DeMartini. Even he's not that Carlos Cavazo.
I think the one best thing you could say about Frank is that he doesn't overplay.
No.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
No.
Perfect, yeah.
He's
Exactly.
and another guitar player we're going to talk about later. Actually, a couple for me. He actually services the song.
Yeah. It
You
works with
don't
it.
hear one of his solos and go, that didn't fit. What the fuck was that?
Cough, Zach Wilde.
And
cough.
a lot of times you hear that shit.
You could almost put him in that category of somebody like, say, a Bruce Kulick, who knows when to do what he needs to do. Like you said, he doesn't overplay. Her solos are tasteful. They fit the song, but he doesn't ruin it. And then when he needs to peel it back and riff, he can do that.
Absolutely.
It's called Yngwie, not Zach.
Because Bruce Kulick is tremendously underrated too.
True.
Oh, definitely.
You know.
Definitely. Yeah. And everybody else went, right, for this album?
Yep, your turn.
Okay.
Yep.
For me, I like this album, and I hadn't listened to this album in years all the way through. And, of course, if you listen to, Hair Nation, or even they'll play these guys in the Boneyard too once in a while, or even if you say you put on, like, Night Ranger Radio or whatever on Spotify, when you can do the channels like that, these guys will come up and these songs will come up. Hang Tough, great bass start. I like it. I like the kick in. Lady Luck is really good. And this is where the album sequencing is fantastic on this album. You got Hang Tough, Lady Luck, Heaven's Chill, No Way Out, but like and you're right, Tom. Be a Man. That's like a fucking country song to me.
Yeah.
It has a country feel to it, and I'm like, that's a fucking skipper for me. Lazy Days and Crazy Nights. It's got a cool groove to it, and it actually has like a really like an Alex Lifeson type solo in this song, which is really a weird feel to. It's really good, but it's like, wow, it sounds like a fucking Rush solo in this song, which is odd, but it's good. Did It for the Money, great deep track, great up-tempo rocker. Yesterday's Gone, another chugging fast rocker. And this is a song that I forgot about. It's got some grindage in there, kick-ass solo. The ending is really cool, and it Making Magic. And I actually wrote down on this one, wow, I forgot how much I like this fucking record. There's another great one, fun song, short, ripping solo. The Way It Is, good one. Flight to Nowhere, I'm with you guys. This song fucking rips.
It does.
Another
it really
song
does.
I totally forgot about it. I don't know if I've ever seen these guys play this live. I've seen them a shitload of times. I don't think I've ever seen them play this live. Love Song, skip it. I never liked this song, so this was always a piss song for me whenever I saw Tesla. So
Steve.
can't stand it. Can't stand you.
Can't stand you.
Can't stand you.
Was it the 12 beers?
It was not. It was not the beer talking on that one. I truly do not like that song. Paradise, not bad. And this one, I think Troy Lucetta really shines in the song. I think it's fucking excellent. Party's Over, cool album ender. This is like a Tesla deep track heaven album for me. Like I said, I haven't listened to it in years, and I'm glad Tom picked it because I'll definitely be throwing it on again. Coming up.
Nice, cool.
All right, BC, what do you got for us?
What do you got?
He's got no respect.
You know what I got? I got no respect.
No respect,
That's
DC.
a good one.
I'm gonna go. I'm going back to 1989 with Vane from San Francisco with No Respect, the name of the album. And I want to say this is probably the most hair band we got out of all the bands tonight.
I
disagree.
I would maybe agree with that a little bit.
We got the highest hair.
I think if we're talking legitimate, like dictionary definition, like
Yes.
hair band,
Yes.
I think BC might be right.
Yeah.
Come on, thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I said when I do these episodes, there's a million albums I would have did for.
Oh, definitely.
But hair metal is, to me, it's a look, it's a sound, it's lyrically a certain way. I don't know. These guys are on the verge of being a little too heavy for the hair metal, but you gotta look at the picture of them, and that brought them back into it. But this is a great album, debut album for these guys. That I'm gonna say it came out easily 3 years too late. And here they open up with Secrets. They have this not glam sound, but like a heavy glam, not a Poison. Like Poison's very hairish, but what stands out to me in this whole album is the guitar sound. I love Jamie. I'm drawing a blank right now because he changed his name, or she changed her name. Heavy crunch. The crunchiness to the guitar sound on this album is phenomenal. I think Davy's vocals is totally different than a lot. The background vocals always gets me. I'm a sucker for background vocals. When you get the group background vocals, I'm on board. And underrated in this whole album is the guitar solo and going back and forth. A lot of dual guitar solo. But it starts off with Secrets. I mean, that was one of their singles. They actually did have that as a single. Ripping solo on that one. And it has like little solos between the verses. Then it goes into Beat the Bullet, which is another single, believe it or not. And everybody's going, who is this band? We never heard of them. They released all these songs as singles. Who's Watching You, a very upbeat rocker. That was that was the third single off this album. And then 1,000 Degrees, another mid-tempo, steady groove on that one. Aces starts off with a cool riff and bass drums. And I love the very end, and your ass. Again, hair metal has to have lyrics that stick out and are very hairish. Smoke and Shadows, to me, it's too slow, too dark. This is probably the only song that I really don't think fits the album. I don't know, it seems very it's too dark. It's too slow. It's just very bum bum bum.
Too much in the shadows.
Too much. And then the title track, no respect. It just starts off with this little acoustic part and him singing, and then it kicks in with. And it's very simple. A nice, heavy, simple riff, but catches your ear right off the back. Laws Against Love. Maybe it might have been some underage love-making song, maybe. Or
Maybe.
Again,
You never know.
Their version of Christine 16.
That's what, again, that's what hair metal to me is about. It's about, partying, trying to get laid. It's no seriousness to any
Banging underage chicks? Is that what you're getting at?
I was
With
just gonna say
bandanas
that,
wrapped
Steve.
around their
You
thigh?
do it.
What?
Apparently underage. There's no proof of that.
No
Down
one
for
was,
the third
no one
time.
was carding anybody in the 80s
Nobody's
Yeah.
carded nobody.
for anything.
Down for the third time, ninth track off this. Love. I think I skipped the song. I'm sorry. Laws Against Love. No, I did. The
Yeah,
background
you're
vocal.
good.
The background vocals in this song to me is the standout. I guess. Down for the third time, another steady rocker. Standout to me on this one, Icy. Heavy groove. The background vocals that we saw. How many years ago did they play?
2 years.
like-
Last year they played because
An
it was
M3.
It was the last one we went to.
it was the last M3 because remember it was like that
'Cause
shitty day.
they were on the green aliens.
No, we saw because remember
No,
they
yeah.
started to play. We were coming across through the parking
Yeah,
lot.
and it was that rainy day. They were at the beginning of the day.
Oh yeah.
That other time they played at the other stage.
How many years ago was that?
That's got to be 5 or 6 years
5.
ago.
That was great.
That was the better one.
That was definitely the better one, yes. Of course, here we go, track 11, Without You, the ballad. I don't know. Hair metal is usually known for the, man, I want to go walk you, It's Pretty Boy Floyd would say, I want to walk you home from school. Anyways, but this is another one. It's all right. It's just, it's a skipper, if you ask me. And they finish off with Ready. I think it's a great song to end the album with. Mr. Rest, and he just kicks into his guitar and wailing guitars throughout the song. I mean, just good way to end this album. And this is definitely I don't know. If I had to pick some CDs to take me and never coming back, this would definitely be one of them.
BC's got
The BC runaway CD.
Wow.
But if this came out in 85, 86, I think they would have became bigger. I mean, they have like 9 albums out.
And this is the debut, right?
This is their debut.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go first on this one. These guys were really cool live. Davey Vane on stage, barefoot dude,
Barefoot.
fucking
I can't do that.
barefoot.
Do you know how many boots have been
Ew,
on that stage?
that's all I'm gonna say. Fucking ew.
Do you know how
And no
many
one wants
boots-
to look at someone's fucking grody toes while they're playing fucking live.
No,
For one thing.
can't abide.
It's hair metal, damn it.
I don't. This album
It's
is
big
cool.
toe metal.
It's big toe metal.
I kind of had a feeling BC was going to pick this one. Secrets, cool start, Davey Vane. He's got a unique voice.
The vocals make it
Like most of this album is his vocals are very like dreamy. It's the only thing that comes to my head when you hear some of the things he sings. Background vocals throughout this whole album are fucking awesome. Beat the Bullet. I love the start on it. The cool bass and drums. It's got like a scratchy guitar thing. Like probably like a 3/4 tempo rocker on that one. Who's Watching You? Great song. Fucking love it. Kicks in good. It's a fun one. It's got a really hooky chorus. 1,000 Degrees. Actually, I just listened to the song before we came down here. This is a song when I first heard it, I'm like, this song blows. And then it grew on me. And actually got into a little more. Some great guitar work on it. Aces is a good foot stomper. Smoke and Shadows, one of the, like you're right, one of the lesser songs for me, but it's really got like a low, sleazy feel to it.
almost too slow.
No Respect, good. I like it. I like the kick in on it. Laws Against Love. This is where he hit the vocals are extremely whiny. I don't like this fucking song. I'm like, geez, just fucking please sing in a different register or something, like kick it up or whatever the fuck, or just let the guitar players play a fucking solo. Down for the Third Time is cool. Icy, fucking awesome. Very sleazy song, kind of early LA Guns-ish for me. Without You. Now, David Crosby, motherfucker, this is the correct use of the word meh. This song is fucking meh. Not fucking Edward Van Halen. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Easy, jeez.
Last song, Ready, good rocker, good into the album.
For him.
There's some stronger vocals on this one, which I really like. Both guitars really tear it up on this one. This song almost has a punk feel to it. I like the ending. They begin on a strong note. They end on a strong note. Good album. Like I said, the vocals got to me after a while, but there's some fucking fantastic shredding on this album.
Jamie
And
Scott.
both guitar players are still in the band, right?
No.
No?
I when I went to say it before, I kept saying James in my head.
Nope.
Jamie
Different
Scott
band.
is the guitar player, and
that's
now Jamie Scott. She is now Delana Nova Scott.
Delana Nova Scott.
DN for short.
And
Still shreds, still plays with them
still
live.
shreds, still
and
plays with
actually,
them live.
She was with them the last time we saw them.
yeah.
She kicked out.
Actually, the first time we saw him, she hadn't transitioned yet, and then last time we saw him, she had. Still tears it up. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're a guy,
the green
girl, whatever,
stage.
you
The green
tear it
stage.
up, you
Right.
fucking tear it up.
The green stage it was the start of the transition.
Right.
And we're kind of like, but ripped it up.
But just
either less.
absolutely tears it up. Don't let anything like that distract you
Joe-
from fucking good music.
Joe Pro.
Joel Proto.
Jesus,
Thank
BC,
you.
who's talking about fucking
Joel
drinking now?
Proto.
Goddammit.
God damn it!
come on.
God damn it!
He joined in 2016.
But he joined 2016. I think he.
And Steven Adler actually played with them in
He's
'91.
played with them for.
Was there that
When
one album they
when they-
released? Is he
they-
on that album or no?
They had this debut album, No Respect.
And
They
then
went
all
into the
those
studio, and then I don't know what happened to drummer bass player left for a second one, and Steven Adler came in, played drums, but then
They changed the name of the band.
they got dropped by the record label,
Yeah, and
Then they changed the name of the
they,
band.
they became the Road Crew.
Road Crew or something like that. Which,
Yeah,
That's original.
as we know,
Yep.
we know where that got them.
All right, BB, what'd you think of this one?
I love this album. BC kind of played these guys a couple of times. I think the first time I actually listened to these guys, I think we were working over the station. You threw these guys on because they were going to be at M3. I love these guys because they're so different. Steve already said it. David's vocals are so just like unique. It just and it's like one of those hair metal bands that never really got out there. They never really opened really for anybody big. But there are some great songs on this album. Icy, like BC, you said, I know that's your favorite song on this album. The gang vocals are so cool. It's like sleazy and dark all at the same time. You know what I mean? Fantastic song. Another headliner for me are definitely Secrets. It's a fast rocker. There's some great guitar work in it. The solo on this one, I think, is probably the best on the album. And my favorite song on this album, definitely 100%, is 100,000 Degrees. I love how it starts off like a slow rocking groove, and then it kind of kicks in. The chorus is real catchy. The solo's great, and it's just one of those albums that you have to, give it a listen. You don't, give it a rating on your first listen. You really got to suck it in because these guys are so different, so unique, and these are that M3 moments that you're like what sticks out from M3? These guys playing on that second stage that day, they were so fucking good. They were so tight. Like they were fantastic, and nobody knew any of their shit except for us. But that's what makes M3 great. And these guys were a hit for me. Definitely, thank you for pawning these guys off on me that day. Definitely a fantastic band.
It's about time you gave us a good band, BC. Come on. All right, Tom, what'd you think, my friend? I know you probably never heard of this album before.
I have. This was good because I had never heard of this band. I never heard of this band, which is amazing because this is right in my sweet spot, my wheelhouse of growing up with this in this era with this music. And I was like, and then I'm like, okay, BC picked this band. I'm worried. What the fuck am I listening to now? If BC picked this band, I'm scared. I got to tell you, BC, you knocked it out of the park with this because I fucking love this album. I can't believe it. This
Hair
is
metal, baby.
dude, this is exactly the kind of sleazy 80s like hair metal shit I love. It reminds me of like just Faster Pussycat, LA Guns, just like sleazy, just awesome I loved it. The vocals, like you guys were saying, they just sound like just dirty and sleazy and just like whiny at times. And I think on the upbeat songs, I mean, like Beat the Bullet, that song absolutely fucking rips. I mean, as I'm listening to this album, I'm thinking to myself, how did I miss this? Like, I mean, I know they never made it big, but to just never even hear them, you know, and you guys have already praised that song Icy. That song stuck out the minute I heard it. Those gang vocals. We talk about this on our podcast. Anytime you got gang vocals, I love it, and it fits perfectly with the hair metal scene in this. But you know, it kicks off with Secrets. That's awesome. And then another great album that we're talking about with track listing. Beat the Bullet is just terrific. Who's Watching You? It's awesome. Some of the slower songs, like some of the really slow songs, I don't think suit the band very well or his vocals. You guys kind of hinted at that already. I think the upbeat rockers and the guitars, and the thing that stood out for me on this, as an unknown band, an unknown album, the production was spectacular. I mean, the drums sound just monstrous on this, and I think that adds to it too, because you really get that raw sound with just killer drums. So I got to give you credit here, BC. You nailed it with this. A lot of good stuff on this. I've added this album to my Apple Music library, and I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Good luck finding it on vinyl.
Oh, but it's funny. I already did. It's impossible.
Yep. It's when you see a copy, it's fucking expensive.
Yep.
BC got it for like $20.
Of course he has it.
Yep.
He probably
Only because I told him. I'm so pissed.
Oh, that's right.
This son of a bitch.
God damn it. All right, Dylan, what do you think?
They ran 7 cars off the road, did they?
I remember you praising this band to high heaven when we were going to the last M3, and I was really excited to hear them, and they blew me away. They were fantastic. I really, really enjoyed them live, and I, for some reason, didn't get a chance to listen to this album until this episode, and I was happy to hear that my ears did not deceive me at M3. They're just as good recorded as they are live. This album kicks ass. The guitar work is phenomenal. This is one of the 2 albums tonight where the gang vocals are just amazing. Very excited to talk about the second album that happens. But Who's Watching You is just such a catchy chorus, like Dad said. They do choruses really well. Beat the Bullet's chorus is just get down on my knees.
That's so good.
So good.
So good.
Like this album just kicks ass. You could just put this album on and for the most part listen front to back, and you know the slower songs, they're not the best, but you know, for every slow song you have an Icy, you have a 1,000 Degrees, you have a Secrets. You know, they're a kick-ass band, and I think if they were a couple years earlier, they would, because these are hits for me, to my ear. These are the catchy songs that I would hear on the radio.
They're too late.
Yeah, they just missed it by that much. But yeah, this was a fantastic pick. Bravo.
Yeah. You can't have a hair band put out their debut album in 1989 unless you're like some just big giant monster band that has this kind of backing behind you. But you're right. If these guys put this out in 85, 86, this album would have been huge, I think. Or could have been huge. But in 89, probably pretty much no chance, really.
Yeah.
Saturation.
Oversaturation with this stuff, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so there's our first 3. We had BB with Black and Blue Nasty Nasty. Tom did Tesla, the Great Radio Controversy. BC did Vain, No Respect. So there's 3 out of the 5 we're going to do. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a little Jim song, which I gave Tom the option. I said, hey, why don't you pick the Jim song first? And he thought it was too much pressure for him to do. So
I have one, but I didn't want to be responsible for fucking up your episode, so I didn't want to do it.
Why? I do it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
You got a song?
You did tonight.
Well, if you got the song, I want you to say what it is. Then I will get rid of mine. I'll do mine another time. What do you got for us?
No. Go ahead. You picked a pretty good one tonight. Go ahead.
Okay. Did you listen to it?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, the song I'm going to pick for this evening is new song. It's coming out. The album is coming out on November 13th. It's from this band. Was had one of my favorite albums on our 2018 end of the year episode. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons have a new album coming out, and the song's called "We're the Bastards." It's their second album. It's the title track from it, and it's fucking fantastic. So, Dylan, play a little Phil Campbell and his Bastard Sons. All right, we are back from Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons with "We're the Bastards," title track from the new upcoming album that comes out on November 13th. So I hope everybody checks that out. And good, solid band. Love those guys. And Tom, you listened to the song. What'd you think of it?
Musically, I thought it really kicked ass. I mean, I thought the lyrics were a little, silly, if I can be completely honest with you. But musically, that got me over. The song ripped. It was pretty cool.
And actually, if you get a chance, check the video out because it's with a bunch of different people in it. And
okay.
It makes it fun when they're all singing. It's actually pretty cool.
Okay, nice.
So if you guys check that out, check out the video also. It's Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, and the song is called "We're the Bastards." So
Nice.
Little hidden gem time, and we're gonna have. Let's have BC go first today. The elder state. I was gonna say the elder statesman, but I'm the oldest, so the next guy. That's you. The guy that's got
co-pilot.
The guy that's got more gray hair than me.
True.
And more hair than Dylan's got more hair.
Dylan's got more hair than all of us.
What do you got, BC?
I'm going to stick with since we're talking about hair metal, and I'm going to talk about Jim, and this is going to be totally off there. If you can find any of this stuff out there. They have a documentary, which I still want to get my hands on. It's a 80s band out of Florida, Tough Luck, they were called. They're very hair metal, very high hair, and you had to remember that. I have it on vinyl, so it's got to be hair metal if you have it on vinyl.
True.
All right.
It's probably like $900.
No, I got it for about 45 bucks.
Oh, all right.
It was still sealed. Perfect
I remember
shape.
you showing me that. Now that you say it was still sealed.
That's because nobody wanted it.
There,
That's why it's still sealed, BC.
There were 10 of them there.
Yeah.
10 of them there, but no 10. But here's a band. Check them out. I mean, you can definitely YouTube. They're on YouTube. I know that from shows, and they have a documentary out.
Really?
Which I mean, you must have to order it online.
Hey, if they're from Florida, Stephen Michael probably knows them.
You better know. Come on, Tough Luck, people.
Maybe they named themselves Tough Luck because they know him.
Ooh.
Tough Luck.
True.
That could be a possibility.
All right, cool. Tom, what do you got for us, my friend?
All right, so here's a band that I listened to a little bit back in 2008. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that they were still putting stuff out, and they just put out a new album last year. I'm interested to see if you guys have ever heard of them. A band called Texas Hippie Coalition.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, nice. So back in 2008, I was a big fan of their album that came out, Pride of Texas, and I just with the new reformatting of Apple Music on the iPhone, it doesn't. But kind of pulling out stuff that's in your iTunes library and kind of recommending things by artists that maybe you don't already have added to your library. So it recommended their album that came out in 2019 called High in the Saddle. And I was like, God damn, first of all, I didn't even know these guys were still around. Little did I know they've had like 5 albums out since their debut in 2008. But High in the Saddle, if you've never heard of Texas Hippie Coalition, these guys are they're like this southern heavy metal band. It's a really interesting kind of sound. It's like if like Pantera and like Molly Hatchet or 38 Special got together and created like a southern metal band. The lead singer has like this like pretty wild, like growly, raspy kind of voice. The music is just absolutely killer. And the song that stood out for me, they got a song called Tongue Like a Devil. And that's off of their most recent album called High in the Saddle. Check them out, Texas Hippie Coalition. They got a really cool sound, very unique.
All right, cool. Yeah, very cool sound. And as soon as I hear that name, I think of Pantera because they do have a Pantera-ish feel to them for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, and they're like a more southern rock Pantera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yep.
for sure. All right, I'll go next. My gym. I just actually found my gym today. It's a video. I was rooting around on YouTube, and when you click on something, you get 20 other things of similar shit. This is the gang that's been doing a couple of videos. Charlie Benetti, Alex Skolnick, Charlie Benetti obviously from Anthrax, Alex Skolnick from Testament, Mike Menji, he's one of the main guys that does the Metal Allegiance albums, and there's a keyboard player, his name is Randy McStein, and then there's a female singer, her name is Jennifer Cella, C-E-L-L. They do a version of Fleetwood Mac's Rhiannon. Holy shit, is it fucking fantastic. She has a voice like, oh my god, I wish I didn't even look her up to see, what band she's in or if she's in. I'm sure she's got to be in some kind of band. She's got a fucking voice like a fucking angel. She is like Stevie Nicks' daughter on this song. I mean, it's just such a fucking fantastic version of this song, and it's metal guys playing this song, but it's so goddamn good, and it's true to the original version, but it's fantastic. It's one of the videos where the split screen, they show it, everybody at different times and stuff like that. It's just fantastic. So the Rhiannon video by, and actually just put in Rhiannon cover and it'll come up, or just put in Charlie Benetti cover songs or Alex Skolnick and it'll come up. So that's it. It's really, really cool.
Nice.
BB, what do you got?
All right, let's go back to 1986. Current singer Mark Tornello had a band back in the day called TT Quick from the album Medal of Honor. How about we highlight Front Burner? Love that song. Fantastic album. Listened to that the other day. That's like Accept and Whitesnake had a kid. It's TT Quick. Great shit going there. If you like the Accept stuff and Whitesnake's
Cool.
melody together, fantastic album. TT
Nice.
Quick.
All right. Dylan, how are you?
Finally found one.
You find one? Okay.
Yeah.
Not like you had 2 weeks to pick one.
Well, listen, I had a lot going on.
He's got a broken elbow.
You broke your elbow fucking 3 days ago, so don't give me that shit.
It all went out. It all went out my head. Okay, this is a band everybody at this table probably knows really well. Sister Sin. They came out with an album in 2010 called True Sounds of the Underground. They're from Gothenburg, Sweden. They actually reunited at the end of 2019 and were planning to tour this year. Unfortunately, can't happen because of COVID-19.
Because of BC.
But this band is really, really good. Nice hard rock band that was prevalent in the 2010s, and we saw them live. They were fantastic.
Fantastic.
Awesome female vocalist, Liv Jaggerl.
Sin.
Yeah, Liv Sin, and it's just a really solid 4-piece band that really just kick ass. And True Sound of the Underground is probably the album that I would recommend to people to check them out. It's got songs like 24/7, Outrage, some really, really good hits from them, and they're great live. So I'm really looking forward to the time where they could play live again.
And what Dylan didn't mention was that his band, Warning Level at the time, could have opened
we
up for
could've-
these
yeah, we
guys
could've opened for
and MSG
Yeah,
and Lynch Mob, but
wasn't my fault.
they didn't.
I would have liked to.
And me and BC, we saw that show, and we actually got to talk to Liv after the show. She was so cool. It was her first time in the United States, and we talked to her for probably 20 minutes.
Easily.
Very cool. Really great band though. I mean, they fucking tore it up. And actually, she has an album or she put a band together after Sister Sin was over, or after
Sisters.
Sister Sin was over, and then she started. What the hell was the band? Liv Sin. I think she just went by
Yes,
her
she
name.
went by her name.
Real great European type metal stuff, but
European
like
metal.
real good, Accept like background vocals. Very cool. All right, so there's our hidden gems for the week. I have Rhiannon by Charlie Benette, Alex Skolnick, Mike Minji, Jennifer Sella, and Randy McStein. Very cool, very amazing cover song and video. BC's got Tough Luck band out of Florida. Stephen Michael's friends down there. BB's got TT Quick, Medal of Honor. The song is, I can't read what I wrote. What's the name of the song, BB?
Front Burner.
Front Burner. Okay, a front part I got. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
And Dylan's got Sister Sin, Sound of the Underground. True Sound of the Underground. And Tom has Texas Hippie Coalition, and the song is, or the album's High in the Saddle, and it's Tongue Like a Devil is the song that he keyed on there.
You're tongue-tied like a devil right now,
I am.
Righty.
No
Holy
shit.
shit.
No shit.
Man.
So with that said, I'm going to take a break from talking, and I'm going to let Dylan talk about his album.
Probably
So,
for the best.
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, now let's talk about probably the highest charting album I would say that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Easily.
Definitely the most prolific that a person on the street would know. Maybe besides the album that we're going to be talking about after, or maybe Tesla. The album Slippery When Wet by a little-known artist named Bon Jovi. It was released August 18th, 1986. Recorded in British Columbia, in Vancouver specifically. And who produced this album, Dad?
Bruce Fairburn.
Yep. This guy was huge.
He produced fucking Psycho Circus, baby.
He produced Psycho Circus, Razor's Edge from AC/DC, Balance,
Wow.
Van Halen, Permanent Vacation.
Don't say Psycho Circus as if that's some kind of accolade he should be receiving. So let's be
I was waiting for that. Thank you.
yeah, let's be careful here. But continue, Dylan.
He produced Get Lucky from Loverboy, 4 times platinum, The Blitz from Crocus. This guy was...
Wait, I want to hear Tom say Crocus. Go ahead, Tom.
Crocus is fucking horrible.
There you go.
Come
He just
on!
likes to say fucking Crocus.
Fucking terrible band. Although I will say, because I've been a serious subscriber for like 10 years, Screaming in the Night is on Boneyard all the time, and I kind of like that song now.
See?
See, they keep jamming it down your throat.
See, it's can't stand you.
Exactly,
Can't
yes,
stand
it's
you.
working.
You don't like Headhunter?
Really?
Not really.
Next time we have Tom on, we're going to do a Crocus episode.
Yeah.
Oh, please. No, because then you're going to make me listen to Crocus for 2 weeks. I can't do it.
He actually produced Without Love from Black and Blue as well.
See?
So a little connection there.
Wow, nice.
Unfortunately, passed away in 1999, so rest in peace. But this was back when Bon Jovi was still doing rock songs. And as such, he had his
was a
right-hand man, Richie Sambora, on backing vocals, lead guitar. Then he had Alex Such on backing vocals and bass guitar. Tico Torres on drums, finger cymbals. David Bryan on keyboards. Noise. He's credited for Noise as well. And Bob Rock actually engineered and mixed the album. So this album is a murderer's row of people that are doing some great stuff, as well as a lot of co-writes from Desmond Child, who, as we know, co-wrote a lot of Aerosmith, a lot of some Kiss songs, some
The whole Detonator album.
the whole Detonator album from Rat, Alice Cooper, a lot of good songs from that. But let's get into the songs from Slippery When Wet. Of course, there was the original album cover with the woman with the T-shirt on, but of course that was
Japanese
that was frowned
release.
upon. So they put a black garbage bag with Slippery When Wet written out in the moisture.
Yeah.
So it's still an icon. It's kind of an iconic cover,
True.
even if it's lazy.
Yep.
But let's get into the songs. Let It Rock starts off with some almost Perfect Strangers like keyboards, but then gets into the chants of the whoa. And this is the gang vocals for me, besides Richie Sambora's guitar playing, are what sell the album. Because a lot of the best songs on these albums have awesome gang vocal choruses. And of course the first one that really sticks out is You Give Love a Bad Name. Of course, huge song, great chorus. Richie's guitar playing in it is fantastic. I love the such an iconic riff. And Bon Jovi, John is a really good vocalist, and he sells the swagger of the song with the fingertips, you know. Then, of course, Living on a Prayer. We've all heard the song a million times, but the talk box at the beginning, it's just iconic. You know, once upon a time, not so long ago. It's just these are just a great 1, 2, 3 punch of opening the album. Social Disease, a song that Aerosmith wanted. It does sound kind of Aerosmithy with that. It almost sounds very from the Permanent Vacation era
With the horn type
section,
keyboards.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was very much thinking this does not sound like a Bon Jovi song. This sounds like somebody else's song. But it was not a Desmond Child co-write. It was just Sambora and Bon Jovi. And then the side one ends with Wanted Dead or Alive, a classic builder of a song, that iconic opening guitar and the like drums. It's just this is a good album, and I there's only one clunker I think on this album that I'll get to. Opening side 2 with Raise Your Hands, from New York to Chicago, from New Jersey to Tokyo, which is a weird. So you go state, city, and then all the way into another country.
I don't know if that was like how they were
He actually says his hometown
touring.
at the end. Sailorville, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think it's Sailorville, New Jersey. He actually says his hometown at the end.
Yeah. But this is a really good crowd sing-along song. Again, the gang vocals really selling it. Without Love, I think, is the worst song on the album. It's a ballad. It doesn't really have the punches of the other songs, which is weird because you would think a Desmond Child song would have that punch that I like, but it just doesn't click for me. I Die For You is fantastic. I love that song. The guitar work, the soloing from Sambora, just iconic in the song. And honestly, I felt like this could have been a hit as well. And I do hear it sometimes, but it's a really fantastic song. Then you have the true ballad that really made it, Never Say Goodbye. Very, very slower song, but Bon Jovi's vocals at the end there with the Never Say Goodbye, and he hits that high note. It always surprises me that he's able to hit that. And it's a good song. And then ending with, I think, the perfect song to end the album, Wild in the Streets. A nice, fun ender, really rockin' song to close out the album, and a real good pick-me-up after Never Say Goodbye, I think. Honestly, I think this is one of the best albums of the late 80s, I would say. It just has everything you could want from an album. Great guitar playing, fantastic singing. I would say the keyboard sound is maybe my biggest flaw in it. Sometimes it sounds a little cheap. What? Just in some songs.
Wrong.
In some songs. I'm not saying the whole time, But like some of I like the keyboard sound on Bon Jovi better than I do on Slippery When Wet. It just sounds more pristine and less Casio keyboard to my ear. Dad, why don't you voice your opinions? Then?
Okay. I got a lot to say about this album. Once again, Dylan, earmuffs. I really used to bang my girlfriend to this album all the time.
I do also want to point out that we have a cat named Jovi.
We do. Named by my wife.
Oh, boy.
Another album that was out the year that I graduated high school, came out in August. Let It Rock starts out with the here we go with another fucking keyboard intro. I'm like, why? But the kick in is worth it. Fucking fist pumping rocker. This is the Bon Jovi that I miss right now. I don't want the fucking social conscious John Bon Jovi. Leave that shit to fucking U2 and Bruce Springsteen and all them fucking jackasses like that. I want this Bon Jovi. It starts out with the whoa. I mean, I'm instantly fucking hooked.
That's your bread and
to
butter.
this fucking album. And I forgive them for the intro for this. I really do. The gang vocals, whoa-whoas are all over the fucking place. Fucking song is awesome. The solo's ripping. The drum sound on this album is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And I actually have written down here, Dylan, and the keys are used sensibly.
Yeah, no, in this song I like the keys.
Great start to the album. You Give Love a Bad Name. Overplayed? Absolutely. But this song is a fucking hit for a reason. Richie's guitar tone is fucking amazing. The chorus is great. And I remember when Dylan and his younger brother Carson were young kids, and they were back in their car seats in our vehicle. We'd be driving this album, be playing probably on CD in the vehicle at the time.
Yep.
And You Give Love a Bad Name, and Dylan and his brother be in the back going bad name. They'd be singing the fucking background of the song. Yeah. Fucking absolutely love it. Perfect blending guitar and keyboards, kick-ass drums, hooky chorus, more gang vocals. This song is a total package. And this is a song too. The drum fills on this album, especially on this song, are memorable. You do not get a lot of memorable drum fills on a fucking hair band album.
Especially like after the one with just the vocals and the drums, and then the
right.
Like that's such a good drum fill.
Right. You don't get that on a lot of albums that are from this era. Living on a Prayer, Bring on the Talk Box, love it. It's Tommy and Gina time, BB. God damn, I miss rocking to this album. The big keys, more whoa-whoas in this one, a melodic solo, they're fucking 3 for 3. Social Disease, love the song. It's got that moaning start, and then it's like, oh, you mean that's it? Then you get the Dr. Bon Jovi report to emergency.
That's what he was making.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Sorry, Dylan.
All right, fuck you, BB. By the way, this is one of my top 5 Bon Jovi songs. I think it's just a fun song. The vocals are big. Richie kicks. The solo's fucking ripping on it. And you're right, Dylan. John Bon Jovi really brings it vocally on this album. Wanted Dead or Alive. This is the song that kicked off fucking MTV Unplugged. I don't give a shit what anybody says. They played this song, John and Richie, on the MTV Music Awards, just the two of them, and then all the unplugged shit started popping up after that. Absolutely fantastic. Sometimes I sleep, sometimes it's not for days, sometimes you tell by the bottle that you drink. Sometimes when you're alone, BC, all you do is think. Not drink, BC, think.
You're telling me that now.
I know. All these years later, I just finally figured the fucking lyrics out. Richie is such an underrated guitar player, too.
Yeah.
And he's another guy that his solos service the song. You don't come away going, what the fuck was that? It didn't fit, didn't sound right.
Yes.
Totally plays the solos right where they should be.
This is the perfect song to showcase that, too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And the how it goes into the solo is absolutely fantastic. The production is great. The arrangements are fantastic on this one. Once again, album sequencing, right top notch on this album. Raise Your Hands, Back to Getting Your Ass Kicked, and after the first 4 songs, you have Let It Rock, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Social Disease, and then you get that little come down with Wanted Dead or Alive. And it's a good break, but it's not really that much of a break because when the solo comes in, it fucking kills.
It's a ripper.
Raise Your Hands is next. You're Back to Getting Your Ass Kicked. The drums are way up on this one. Tico Torres and his ride cymbal are fucking fantastic on this one. Love it. Another rockin' solo. Great song. Without Love, kind of an up-tempo ballady kind of song, but not bad. The vocals are really heartfelt on this one. Very melodic solo. I Die For You. one of the it's one of the lesser songs on the album, I think, but the solo is really melodic on it. Never Say Goodbye. This is the one to bust out your fucking cigarette light. Let me see your fucking cigarette lighters. But it's good though. It's like a little trip down memory lane, while parking with your girlfriend and shit like that. Wild in the Streets, good up tempo rocker.
I should have just skipped this episode.
I made him parking with his girlfriend. Absolutely fucking love this album. And this is another one that I haven't listened to in a long time. And when I listen to all these albums, I got a pair of good Bose headphones, so like I'm able to crank it, noise canceling headphones, and like I'm like, holy fuck, just like this, like the memories of listening to this album just came flooding back, and how much I listened to it, how much I loved it, and it's still, and I'm thinking this is one that I would throw in my case to take, if I was never coming back from somewhere, this is one I would take with me.
Steve is gone. Coming back.
All right, I need a beer after that one.
Wow.
Tom, what do you got for us?
All right, so Bon Jovi. So this album came out right as I was starting the 8th grade.
Oh, good Lord.
That's how young I am.
Okay.
So the album was absolutely a monster for all the reasons that we've said. The album was a monster, deserved to be a monster. Carried on into high school, carried on until today. I've said on one of our bonus episodes, we actually reviewed Bon Jovi's debut album, which is very, very underrated. My co-host Zeus is one of his all-time favorites. It's okay for me. I've never been a huge Bon Jovi fan. I like the hits on this album, and I will say that I have not really revisited Slippery When Wet top to bottom in quite a long time. So when Dylan picked this, I was excited because I do like the standouts on this. But what a surprise it was to see how much I actually enjoyed this album, and I forgot just how top to bottom fantastic this album really is. I mean, everybody knows, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, standouts for a reason. But songs like, Raise Your Hands and Wild in the Street and I Die For You, just awesome, perfect pop metal, pop rock, whatever you want to call it. Just perfectly written and executed songs. No surprise that, Desmond Child, who has done unbelievable, successful work with Kiss as well, he's behind a lot of these big songs here for Bon Jovi. It's just a terrific album, and I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad Dylan picked it because it got me back into it. Usually, I'm just a hits guy with Bon Jovi, and even then, I'm really not a huge Bon Jovi guy. But this album, I found myself really enjoying listening to this entire thing. Never Say Goodbye is that schmaltzy power ballad that they had to throw in there. But Steve, I think you said even Without Love, mid-tempo kind of ballad. But just great stuff. And Richie Sambora, we talked about him, just another underrated guy. Tasteful, appropriate solos, for lack of a better term. Just a great album. A lot of fun listening to this. A lot of memories, too. I think anybody that listens to this album has memories.
Even I do. Because
See?
You Give Love a Bad Name is one of my first musical memories.
Yep.
There you go. You're welcome. What do you got, BC?
Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi came out with a debut album. I was all over it. Loved it. 78 Degrees Fahrenheit came out. To me,
I think the production killed it on that one.
The production or something just killed that. There was some great tunes on that one, but the rest, and I was like, oh, God. So this came out. I remember putting this on, just talk about going back. It was like, Let It Rock comes on. And you're like, ooh. And it just... grand slam with this album, right out of the park. I mean, the weakest one on this album again is Without Love. Not saying it's a bad song, it's just out of all these songs, that's probably the weakest spot, I would say. This is all the ingredients of a perfect mid-80s rock album. I'm not going to say hair metal or anything like that. Rock album. Love this album. I mean, pretty much the singles, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, they're the ones I can do without actually on this album. Let It Rock, love it. Social Disease, Raise Your Hands, love that song. Wild in the Streets, like Dylan said, great way to finish an album. Never Say Goodbye. For a ballad, I think lyrically, that is pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, and
absolutely.
That what carries that song for a slow song in my book. I Die For You. I mean, because Wanted Dead or Alive, when it kicks in, and I have not listened to this album all the way through in probably 20 years or more.
Wow.
Yeah, me
Seriously.
too. Me too. I think that was the same
Yeah.
thing for me too, BC.
And I was listening to it like, damn. And I think Steve even said this is one of those albums that would have to be in the suitcase of CDs that you take with you.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Lord.
BB, what are your
Okay.
thoughts?
Dylan, I love you like you were like my first child.
Wow.
Okay.
This is interesting.
But you
Uh-oh.
have to understand where I'm going to come from this aspect.
This ain't
Okay.
good. This ain't
Okay.
good.
1986. I'm 14 years old, so I'm watching MTV and I'm listening to the radio. If I had to pick, if they said, pick one of the albums from your 80s memory that really ruins a band,
Oh,
I have to pick this one because it was so jammed down your throat.
Okay.
And
You can always
only
turn the dial.
it was jammed down your throat because it's a really, really good album.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic album. But for me, you may hear this in another 80s episode.
Yeah.
It was so jammed down your throat. Like, You Give Love a Bad Name was all over the place. Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive.
I think he's
like,
talking about my album the next episode too.
I know, sorry. But
Yeah, he's
it's
like
just,
beating you up.
it's, but you have to understand
No, I
the
get
time.
you.
The
Yeah.
time, MTV was big. The radio was big. And
He was 14.
it was all over the place. Like, and it's like, just like, here, eat your mother's meatloaf. Eat your mother's meatloaf. I'm sick and
You don't like
tired of it.
meatloaf?
But,
That's another podcast.
right. But there are some, I'm not going to take away from this album because the album is really, 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 really good. The three standouts for me, probably the opener, Let It Rock. I really like the little keyboard opening because you don't expect that.
Yeah.
Then when it kicks in, you're like, holy shit! Like, why would you open up with a keyboard? But it totally fixed the song. I love it, and I know Steve loves it because it's like you got a little whoa.
Love it.
Love it. Raise Your Hands is another one that I really, really like. I love the heavy guitar riff in it. The opening throughout the whole song is just freaking fantastic. And the greatest song of the album, I took a lot of ball busting when we did the draft, and Tom actually said he liked this song, was Wild in the Streets. The Closer's the best song in the album, and
It's a good song.
Wait a minute, it's not the best song on
it's
the
definitely
album.
the best song on the
You
album.
think it's the best? You think it's the best song on the album because it's the most underplayed on the album.
Well,
So you don't have to
well, that's
Right.
true too. The guitar work and the keyboard together is so cool. There's gang vocals in it. You gotta love it. But
was-
I think that my favorite part is the whole. What do you call that part of the cymbal? The bell?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
there's the
ding,
ride
ding,
song.
ding, ding,
The
ding,
ride.
ding, ding,
The
ding,
ride.
ding, ding, like the bell
Right, the
part.
ride cymbal, yeah.
Love it. That's so prominent through that whole song. That really catches my
The
ear.
whole album's there.
I don't know. That song is. I don't know. That song is maybe because I'm so sick of the rest of it, I just kind of block it out. But I really thought it was really prominent on that song. I love. It's all right.
This was almost
And it-
BB's last episode with us.
So for me, that,
Yeah, but you have to think too. My wedding song is a Bon Jovi song, but it was just so jammed down our throat in 1980.
I have several albums like that. All the Right Reasons from Nickelback is one of those albums for me. It was always on the radio. I think that's the one with the car. It's the one with the car.
The Car with the Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that album was because it had Photograph on there. It had, I think If Everyone Cared was on there, which
The
they
long road, isn't it?
I don't know. It's one of them.
But so now you know where I'm coming
Yeah,
from.
no,
It's not a bad album.
Believe me,
It just
I know.
being
for
14 in 86, it was all over the place.
Sure. Yeah. No,
It's
I
like,
know
it's
for
like
sure.
the same thing when people talk about like Led Zeppelin 4. It's a terrific album, but nobody wants to ever pretty much listen to the album ever again because you've heard it a bazillion times.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing about this album. It's an awesome album, but and I think that's why you pick like Wild. That's why we're picking like all the songs out. You know, no one's going to say "Wanted Dead or Alive" is their favorite song on the album because they've heard it for 30 years. But the song is amazing.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
that's what happened. That's what happens with a lot of these albums from the '80s. They're mega hits for a reason, and then you know we talk about it all the time on our podcast with Kiss. It's like no one's going to deny that you know Detroit Rock City is an unbelievable song, but it's like you've heard it for your entire life. You know,
Burned out on it.
yeah.
Your turn.
Okay, BB. Hi, buddy.
Hi.
How are you? You okay?
How are you, buddy?
All
All
right.
right.
All right. The album I picked is Night Ranger, Midnight Madness. And the band at the time was Jack Blades on bass and lead vocals, Kelly Keegy on drums and lead vocals, Brad Gillis, lead guitars and background vocals, Jeff Watson, guitars and background vocals, and Alan Fitzgerald on keyboards.
Ella Fitzgerald?
Maybe a great nephew.
The Edmund Fitzgerald.
The very first time that I saw Night Ranger was for this tour. I saw them at Rocky Glen Park. Absolutely love it. This album is produced by Pat Glasser. It's 38 minutes and 36 seconds long. It came out October 26th, 1983. This was the year that I had first started going to concerts, so I was like able to go to and there were concerts like almost seemed like every fucking week once I started going to shows. And this album starts out with You Can Still Rock in America. The guitar takes off at the beginning. It's got a little keyboard thing, like right before the verses start.
Yeah.
Second album in a row for these guys. They open up their first album, Dawn Patrol, with Don't Tell Me You Love Me. Second album, boom. First song, You Can Still Rock in America. Here's a band that they give you their mission statement on the first fucking song of the album. Like, this is what you're going to get from these guys. This is our band. This is what you're going to hear from us. Absolutely love it. Rocking chorus, great. Jack Blades, vocals are fantastic. Brad Gillis, his solos are fucking fantastic. The first song has got like a takeoff solo in it, and then that fucking fretboard part at the end is Jeff Watson. Absolutely kick ass. And Kelly Keegy, I'll tell you what, the drums are produced fantastic on this album. He's an underrated drummer, this guy as well, I think. He is a guy, he has that. I talked about it in a couple of our other episodes when we talk about Dio and Vinny Appice. He has a different kind of disjointed drumming style that you don't see a lot, and Kelly Keegy has that also. And because like some drum beats and some drum fills, you're like they're kind of weird, but they're good. They're not what you would expect, and I think he's that kind of drummer. Just a kick-ass opening song. Rumors in the Air, one of my top 5 Night Ranger songs. It starts out that little volume knob and fretboard thing that Brad Gillis opens the song with. It's one of those songs that for me that's hard to pin down why I love it so much. It's got some cool keyboards in it, cool melodic solo from Brad, and then it fades out with that with like that keyboard, that fretboard thing, volume thing at the end. Just fantastic. Why Does Love Have to Change? Great deep track. This is one that you don't hear of a lot. It's not played a lot. They play it live every now and then. Solid rock song, just fun, plenty of hooks and everything. Solos fantastic when it fades out. Sister Christian, here's another song. There's a lot of songs we're talking about tonight that you've heard a million times. This is one that I don't get sick of. It's the first song for Night Ranger that you have Kelly and Jack Blades singing lead vocals on this song. I think it's really cool. Brad kicks off the solo. Jeff does the second solo, which is how it usually goes, but once in a while it bounces back and forth where Jeff starts it off first. But like when they come back from the solo and then they start the motor end, it feels more powerful, the chorus, when they come back after the solo. Yeah. I don't know if it's like turned up a notch or if it's a bit faster or louder. It's just more powerful than the rest of the choruses in the song. So next time you listen to it, listen for that. As soon as they come back from the solo, that chorus is more powerful than the rest of the choruses on the song. Touch of Madness, this was the very first song that I saw Night Ranger play. That was the opening of the set when they did the Midnight Madness tour. You get the I don't know, was it a xylophone ding with the kids? Ding, 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 ding. And then they come on, just fucking fantastic. There's no real solo in this song. It's just like a dual harmonic thing between Jeff and Brad. And I am so fucking glad that Brad Gillis decided to stay with Night Ranger rather than to stay with Ozzy.
Oh yeah.
This band would not be the same band without Brad Gillis. He's the only member that's been on every single Night Ranger album. Him and Kelly. I'm sorry, him and Kelly are the only two. Because remember, Jack Blades was gone. They did Feeding Off the Mojo with Gary Moon. It was Gary Moon, Brad Gillis, and Kelly. So it was real good album. They did a cool version of Do You Feel Like We Do on there. Just a great. Brad tears it up on the fade out solo. Passion Play, another great deep track. Fucking love it. And my all-time favorite fucking Night Ranger song When You Close Your Eyes. This is one of them songs that the chorus gives me that pause moment. Absolutely fucking love it. Best Night Ranger song ever. The harmonies in this song are so awesome. The combo of the guitars and the vocals is just friggin' aces. I love it. All-time favorite Night Ranger song. Chipping Away, another good deep track, great chorus. Let 'Em Run. I'm usually not a fan of these mellower songs, but I think it's a good way to kind of close this album out. I think it fits perfectly. Kelly Keege's vocals are fucking fantastic on this one. He really shines on these type of songs. Listen to Goodbye on Seven Wishes. Kills it on there. Just kills it. And another mellow, and I'm like you guys know, I'm not a great mellow song liker, but like Kelly really brings it on these ones here. Top 5 album of all time for me, this album. No skippers, not even fucking close. They just bring it. They just absolutely fucking bring it. Love this album. Desert Island album. If I had a chance of 5 albums, I'm not sure what the other 4 would be, but this would be one of them. What do you think, BB?
Of course it is.
Yeah, definitely a great pick. Is it hair? I don't know. It's different. It's different. I really think Alan Fitzgerald is the MVP of this album.
Ella?
Alan.
He said
Oh, I thought you said Ella.
No, I said Alan.
Alan.
Ella.
Every time
Alan.
I hear the name Alan, I think of that one scene in Jurassic Park 3 where Alan Grant looks over and there's the dinosaur. He goes, Alan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I really honestly think he's like the MVP of this album because I think he overshadows Brad Gillis. Maybe it's just me, but I really think the keyboard is what really holds this album together. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
This fucker's going back to rehab.
I think When You Close Your Eyes is a great song. It starts out a little bit slower, but the keyboard and drum start is really, really cool, and it kicks in at the second verse. Fantastic. Rumors in the Night, I love that song. It almost, like you said, like it has that keyboard, or it almost has like that Eddie Van Halen guitar,
Almost
like
like a
cathedral
type
thing,
thing.
the
Yep.
volume thing
Yes.
going on there type thing.
Yep.
I love the chorus with the whole band singing it. Fantastic. Definitely my favorite song of this album is Why Does Love Have to Change? I love that song. It has that Ain't Talking About Love start in a way. I hear that there. Like the music that these guys make are just fucking fantastic. And the chorus on that song is just so ear-catching. It's fantastic. But like I said, I really honestly think like Alan is just is the band. That whole album, all I heard was the keyboards. I think maybe the keyboards are turned up a little bit, maybe too much. But I really honestly think that he's actually overshadowed on this album. He's overpowering Brad Gillis. I really, really do.
Wow. Maybe that's why he's not in the band anymore.
You're out.
We talk about this.
Yeah, BB.
What?
I love you, buddy. But he always finds a way to stick it to me somehow. Fucking a keyboard player better than Brad Gillis. Fucking get into rehab, motherfucker.
Rehab.
Good God.
No more of those 24-ounce beers.
But I do agree. I think the keyboards are a fucking fantastic mix on here. I don't think they're overplayed at all.
That's part of the Night Ranger sound.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Eric Levy is their keyboard player now.
But it's funny, like we talk about all these bands, like guitar. Brad's not out there. He's not out front. He's not.
Interesting.
All right, BB. Or BC, talk some sense into us here.
All right, here we go. We haven't heard this yet tonight, I don't think. Night Ranger.
There you go.
I was going to do it.
9 hours later.
2 hours.
I was going to do it if you didn't.
You have to wait for Night Ranger, man. What can I say about this band? This is one of the handful of bands that I don't blink an eye at anything they put out. Night Ranger puts something out, I grab it. You're not going to be disappointed. This is just a band that gets better and better with age, and there's a handful of those bands that keep doing that. And I can remember going back when this came out. I mean, you can still rock in America. Just the beginning of that song. guitar, and it's Rumors in the Air, one of my favorite Night Ranger songs. Why Does Love Have to Change? Sister Christian, Touch of Madness. I don't think there's a bad song on his album. When You Close Your Eyes, Passion Play. I think Passion Play is great. You only hear the hits on this one, but I'm not a hit guy. Chipping Away, Let Him Run. There's the acoustic one on that one thing they did. I think that's great. I mean,
the acoustic guitar on that song sounds like. Did you ever hear "Damn Good" on David Lee Roth's "Skyscraper"?
Mm-hmm.
Great song.
It sounds like that.
Great song.
oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But to me,
Call.
Night Ranger is just. As soon as somebody says Night Ranger, first thing I hear is Brad Gills.
You don't hear Alan Fitzgerald
You don't
first
hear it.
when
No,
you fucking hear that?
Somebody says Night Ranger, Brad Gills. If they were,
But of course.
if we're playing that card game, Night Ranger, Brad Gills.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I don't
even
think.
exactly-
I don't think this album showcases Brad Gillis' playing.
Oh boy, here we go. Here it comes.
We're
Get
gonna
the
fight.
rehab.
We're gonna fight.
I love you, but get the rehab.
We're gonna fight.
Anyways, Night Ranger is just one of these phenomenal bands that keep getting better and better, and this is Night Ranger.
All right, Tomas, what do you got? As Zeus would like to say.
All right, so I'm going to start off with a general commentary on Night Ranger before I get into the album. And we kind of talked about this, Steve. We did a live stream way back when we first started doing this. I have never ever considered Night Ranger hair metal.
No.
I don't know when they got lumped into this because I have never considered them hair metal.
You know
I
what?
don't either. I just put them on here because they play them
They
on
got
Bad
lumped
Nation.
into this because of people that listen to the hits.
Right.
Yeah,
Bottom line, bottom line.
I mean, because for them, I just think they're just like a straight up
Great
just
hard rock band.
melodic hard rock band. But that being said, I just wanted to kind of get that. It kind of leads me to what I said when we were talking about Tesla, how the hair metal umbrella sometimes gets a little too big for certain bands, but that's okay. But
They're
that being
as
said,
much of
Midnight-
hair metal as
Midnight-
Tesla is.
What's that?
They're as much of hair metal as Tesla is.
Yeah, exactly. On a different end of the spectrum. Right.
But here's
right.
the difference. He's the guest. You're the host, so you should be following the rules.
No. Some people. He's right. If you use his rule of Sirius XM, Hair Nation, and things like that, they play Night Ranger all the time, and every time, like
Exactly.
my son will be in the car, and I'm like, this is not hair metal,
Yep.
and he's like, oh, but I like this song. I'm like, oh, I like it too, but it's not hair metal.
It's like
But
they're playing
anyways.
Queensryche on there.
Oh, don't even get me going on that. Yeah. But that being said, Midnight Madness is just. I mean, what can you say about the album? Is just perfect. And
Come on,
and
John,
it's
give
funny
us
'cause-
a.
and it's funny. This has 9 songs on it. Like
Yes.
Black and Blue had 9 songs,
Uh-huh.
but
But
Night
totally
Ranger home run on pretty much every one of them. If not a home run, at least a triple on pretty much everything. Just everybody knows the hits, of course. Sister Christian, monster song. You can still rock in America when you close your eyes, but Rumors in the Air is just spectacular. Chipping Away, awesome deep cut. Why Does Love Have to Change? Passion Play. Just the whole album is so good. They're just such a great band, and they put together quite a string of albums. I mean, before this you had Dawn Patrol, and then after this you had Seven Wishes. They're just a great band, and this is one of those bands. I mean, I feel like an old man saying this, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I find myself just listening to them like more. I mean, I've always listened to Night Ranger, but I love this album. And Steve, I think we talked about this, or all of you guys, you're pretty much all vinyl geeks. Amazon's doing the pre-order. They're doing I think it's a colored or some kind of vinyl remaster coming out in December. The pre-order is up now, so I think everybody here is going to be getting that, I think.
Yeah, I have them both ordered. There's actually one of Dawn Patrol and there's one of Midnight Madness.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Yep. Awesome. But yeah, just a great album. I mean, Rumors in the Air is a standout for me, but the whole album is a standout. This one was a lot of fun to listen to with the playlist that Dylan put together on Spotify. He put the whole thing in there on shuffle, and when one of these songs pops up, it was a nice surprise.
All right, cool. Dylan, how about you?
Yeah, Night Ranger is a band that I've never seen play horribly live. They always bring it every single time. Probably one of my favorite live bands to watch, honestly. They have such a good, concise set. They know exactly what songs to play. Even when they would play a new song like High Road, they knew how to get the crowd into it. They knew how to play it for them. And it's one of the rare bands where you had the drums off to the side and not behind the band. And that always stuck out to me, that Kelly Keege's on the side.
It's always been like that.
And it's a really interesting dynamic because it makes the band almost seem on the same level. Instead of the drums on the riser behind them, they're all kind of in sync, in simpatico. And you could tell with this album that this is a band that know each other's strengths and they know when to showcase them. It's even the keys. They know when to showcase the great key playing of Alan Fitzgerald. But I don't think there's a bad song. I would say maybe Let Him Run is not the best song that could have closed. I like it, but I don't know if I'm used to You Can Still Rock in America being the closer for their live stuff, but that could have been... I mean, it's a great album opener, though. So, take it or, I mean, it's one that could switch hit for sure.
I think that's a great mark of a great song. You can open a show with it, or you can close a show with it.
Absolutely. And and you said about when you close your eyes that it gives you that. I feel the same exact way with that chorus, where it has that uplift, and you just feel it just hits you in a way that almost brings a tear to your eye if you're in the right mood. It has that joyfulness of it, where it's when you close your eyes. And I love the "Do you dream of it?" and their background vocals, the harmonies they do are fantastic. Everybody that sings on this album is a great singer, and Jack Blade's vocals add something different than Kelly's vocals do. And I really enjoy that about the band, that they have their different dynamics. And Sister Christian, though it's been played to death, great song. It's a good classic song.
That's one of the few songs that get played to death that you don't mind.
Yeah,
that's a good point, BC. Agreed, because you've heard it a million times, but when it comes on, you can't. It's hard to turn it off.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. This is just a great album. It's Night Ranger. I was gonna do the if BC didn't, because it's Night Ranger.
I was in the bathroom going.
I didn't do it.
The band that Jack Blades left Ozzy for.
Or Brad Gillis.
Brad Gillis, sorry. Brad Gillis left Ozzy for.
I love Speak of the Devil.
I do too. That's those songs, those Black Sabbath songs, Speak of the Devil, are my favorite versions of those songs.
Exactly.
That album is amazing.
Brad Gillis is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Go ahead, Dylan.
It was a very similar gamble that Dave Grohl had when he left Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers to form Foo Fighters, because Tom had offered him.
Dave Grohl was in Tom Petty.
He drummed for him for a little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he offered him a full-time position as part of the Heartbreakers, but Tom heard about him recording his own stuff and encouraged him to pursue that, and Foo Fighters was born. Yeah.
How about that?
Did not know that.
I did not know.
Yeah. By the way, on a quick side note, Dylan, I love that you have a lot of Foo Fighters love, because that one of my all-time favorite bands. I've seen them in concert, and they're just Dave Grohl is just a god.
He is. He really is. He's amazing.
Yep.
Do it, Dylan.
Dave Grohl.
There you go.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Before we go around the table, I want to give a shout out to one of our good friends of the podcast. And actually, he had an opportunity. We talked about this before. He had an opportunity to be on an episode with us when we recorded the episode at M3 in our hotel room. We're all ripped up. We did, I think it was the terrible videos episode we recorded. And our buddy Jay. Our buddy Jay Corella, his name is, a great supporter of the show. I just want to say, hey, Jay. Love you, buddy. Hopefully we can get to M3 next year and rock again, and maybe we can get you, pick a song or something like that.
Pick a song, bitch.
Work with us, Jay. Work with us. We love you, buddy. All right. So here's the albums we did. BB had Black and Blue, Nasty Nasty. Tom had Tesla, Great Radio Controversy. BC had Vain, No Respect. Dylan had Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, and I had Night Ranger, Midnight Madness. So we'll go around the table, we'll say our good nights, and everybody rank the albums as we go. So we'll start with Dylan.
Okay, maybe you should go to me last, because I have to do read the stuff, remember?
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead, BB.
All right, first, Tom. Thanks for coming on the show, buddy. You're like our podcast brother from another mother. Happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife.
Thank you, my friend. I love being on here. I love my Kiss podcast. I love my co-host Zeus. But anytime I can not talk about Kiss and talk about the other albums I love, it's always a treat, especially with you guys. Great time.
Awesome. So since Since you're there, I'm definitely gonna rank your album number 1 easily. Vane,
nice.
definitely number 2. The surprise righty, Night Ranger number 3.
Keyboards number 3, baby.
Keyboards number 3.
Nice.
We need more keyboard.
Keyboard solo.
Keyboard solo. And then I'll put my Black and Blue at number 4, and only because it was 86 and it was ginned down my throat, like my mother's meatloaf. Dylan, Slippery is number 5.
I get you.
Wow.
Very sad, but I understand.
I love you like you're my own son.
All right, BC, how about you, my friend? What do you got?
Tom, thank you for being on with us again. I mean, I really dig your opinions on a lot of things, and I don't get a lot of time to listen to a lot of stuff, and not that against anybody else's podcast, but I'm very selective, and my wheelhouse is very small.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I love being on hand with you guys. So it's just a good time talking music. We're all fans of all this stuff. So it's
Exactly.
just, nothing's better than talking about the music you love.
But my picks are not a representation of the albums or whatever. But I gotta go with Night Ranger number 1 because there's an island band for me, and I have to go with my pick because it's pretty much the main hair metal of all these picks, which is not a bad thing because these other bands are not hair metal. I'm sorry. And then I'm gonna go with Tesla and some Bon Jovi and finish up with Black and Blue.
What the fuck? We're gonna fucking fight.
No, it's just
I'm only.
it could have been stronger. It could have been.
I'm gonna be last on everybody's. I don't care. I just want to kick your ass out in the parking lot.
That's it.
all.
Let's fight.
All right. Tom, how about you, my friend? And plug Shout It Out Loudcast and the bonus episodes and everything.
Yeah, so again, Shout It Out Loudcast, me and my buddy Zeus, it's an all Kiss podcast. We drop new episodes every Saturday. There's a lot of Kiss podcasts out there. Depending on what you're in the mood for, our show gets a little bit crazy. That's the kind of thing that we like to do. A lot of pop culture references. We come at it from a humorous angle. We love the band, but we also love picking on them and poking fun because there's a lot to do that. So, and then we do those monthly bonus episodes with our friend Sonny Pooney where we talk about non-Kiss albums. And you can find us. We're on all the social media platforms, and our podcast is out there. You just search us at Shout It Out Loudcast, and you can find us. So, in terms of ranking the albums, I'm gonna have to be selfish here and go with my pick, number 1, Tesla. Just love those guys. And I'm going to go Night Ranger number 2. Love, love, love this album. And I'm going to have to go Bon Jovi 3. Sorry, BB, but Vane's going to go number 4. I love Vane, but Black and Blue, yikes. Pulling up the
Yes.
pulling up the caboose on the hair metal episode for me. But it was good to listen to it. I had never heard that album. Couple good songs, but when you put it up against these other 4, it's got to go last for me.
I know. I just went initials, so I just BB. That's what came up. I don't know.
That's how you did it.
Your middle name is Nancy, right?
Maybe.
All right. All right. Once again, Tom, to reiterate what these guys said, thank you very much for coming on and spending time with us. That was my whole goal, to have you and Zeus on our podcast to come and do something other than Kiss. Yep. And it's a pleasure to have you. I mean, I know you guys are big fans of this stuff, and but I honestly don't see us doing a grunge episode together anytime soon.
That's okay.
It may happen. Maybe when I go on vacation,
There's at least 2 or
Dylan
3
can
at
get
the
you
table
guys
that
on
would
there.
like the grunge.
It depends on the album, though. And I actually ordered the
What's
vinyl
considered grunge?
the vinyl of Facelift. So yeah, that's coming.
That's great. Oh,
So-
yeah.
That's
Oh,
grunge, but I don't think
that's
that's
a
grunge.
killer album.
I don't think so either. I think that's more hard rock.
That's hard rock.
That's more hard rock. That's not a fucking grunge album.
They got labeled in the
But once again, thanks for coming on. And like BB said,
Happy
anniversary once again.
Thank you.
God bless your
Appreciate
wife.
Yeah, seriously, God bless her. Right now, she's just like, Jesus, again in front of the microphone. I'm like, what are you gonna do?
And God bless all our wives and Dylan's girlfriend, because it's fun. It's time consuming.
Yep.
The average person out there that listens to a podcast has no idea what goes into making a podcast. But if we didn't love it, if it wasn't fun, we wouldn't be fucking doing it. And it's
Exactly.
great.
It's a nice escape from everything else.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
In meeting guys like you and Zeus and Sonny and Steven and all those guys and David and Chris and Pete and Vinny, it's just it is a true community, and I'm so glad to have make your guys' acquaintance. Hopefully we get to actually meet face to face. Maybe we'll do Rockin' Pod or something like. I know we're not going to get you on a fucking boat on any kind of cruise, but I know I will be on the next Kiss cruise with Zeus, anyways, and Sonny's brother Danny will be on that one as well. So,
oh boy,
but it's
good luck.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So once again, thanks for coming on. Always fun. I love your insights on that. Love Shout Out Loudcast. You guys are a fucking riot. And there's times like literally I was listening to you guys the one night when you guys were talking about the I Want You story. And I was literally fucking crying laughing the first time I heard that because and I told you we have a similar story. Yep. And if we had a call, then I wouldn't have been able to get on the fucking truck to drive to a fire call. I was laughing so fucking hard.
That's that was our Rock and Roll Over album review episode.
Yep. And it's absolutely fucking hilarious, guys. Check these guys out. They're funny. If you're easily offended, well, you're probably not listening to us for one thing.
I was just going to say, don't.
But
do
if
it.
you're like, you won't like those guys either. But if you like our kind of, conversation and stuff like that, these guys give you that. And from the Kiss perspective, it's a fun podcast. And we definitely love these guys. And my rankings of the albums are: I got to go with Night Ranger #1, Desert Island album, hands down for me. I got to go with Bon Jovi, the next one, because like I said, I hadn't listened to that album in a while, and it just kicked my ass, brought back so many memories of back in the day. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, BB. I'm gonna go with Vane and Tesla as a tie.
Oh, come on!
All right.
So I'm fourth in one list. Woo!
All right. I won't do that. I won't be wishy-washy.
Come on, Tom.
I will go.
Sorry, BB.
I'm holding up the rear once again.
Yeah, Tom fucked it up for you, BB.
That's all right.
I'm gonna go with Tesla, then Vane, just by a fucking hair, only because of that one song that he's way too whiny for me on there. And then, sorry, BB, Black and Blue. And I love Black and Blue. You know I do. You know I fucking do. There's that's the album that has more songs that are meh for me. And Best in the West, just, oh my God, that's probably the worst song we talked about tonight.
Peter Chris.
I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you.
Oh my God, it's seriously, like I said, it's like the Peter Chris parts are like fucking like trying to be nothing to lose, but he had everything to lose and he fucking
failing at it badly. Yeah,
so for sure. So once again, thank you guys out there, and Dylan's gonna go last, and then you can close out the show too.
Okay, a lot of pressure. So thanks, Tom, for coming on. Really great to get your insight on these albums and everything. I'm glad that you weren't the one that disliked Slippery When Wet.
How can you dislike it?
It broke my heart.
Thank you, Dylan, and thank you for putting that Spotify playlist together. That was a lot of fun to have everything here all together. So thank you for that. That was cool, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And you guys could also listen to the Spotify playlist. I'll have it on the show notes underneath the episode. So if you want to listen to these albums front to back and comment along, you can do so. My ranking of the albums. I want to be selfish and put mine first, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put Night Ranger first. As a surprise, because I was so amazed by it, I'm putting Vane second.
Wow. Yes! BC! Yes!
It's just a kick-ass album, and it blew me away because all these other ones I had heard.
No respect is getting respect.
No respect is fighting against some respect.
Because like Tesla I had heard before.
If you're gonna change, you're gonna do rethink it. There's gonna be some respect.
Some respect.
Yeah, some respect. We're giving it some
Reissued
respect.
some respect.
I'm gonna go Jovi third, Tesla a very very close fourth, and Black and Blue last.
Oh,
yes!
Hold it up the rear. Hold it up the rear.
Partially as recompense for putting Bon Jovi last, but
that's fair.
I don't know. What are you going to do when Zeus comes on?
This is going to be
Zeus.
It's going to be a rough one. But before we close the show, we had put it out there with our last episode that came out before this one, memorable live shows. We asked everybody what some of their memorable live shows were.
2 shows ago.
2 shows ago, yeah.
Dockin was
I
last
was saying
week.
the recent one that was released as a recording.
Okay.
Episode 170. And a couple of our fans, our listeners, had responded. Jeff Gauss, he said, I was at the Nugent Aerosmith show for Dun with Mears in Binghamton that you were at, Dad. Kicked ass. His favorite show was Accept Maiden on the Power Slave tour. That would have been very, very cool to see.
That'd be very cool.
Wow.
Mark Anthony Kay, great, sometimes host of the podcast, is our Rush guru.
He's the guru of Rush.
And, of course, part of Project Gemini and Dark Monarchy.
Dark Monarchy.
His top 4 were Rush, the Grace Under Pressure tour in 1984, his first concert at age 11. Number 2 was the reunion tour for Kiss in 96 at the Toronto Sky Dome. Huge crowd, return of the original Kiss to Toronto. The vibe in the air was hard to explain, electric to say the least. Number 3, Joe Satriani, 1989's Flying in a Blue Dream tour in Toronto. Now, this was a guitar player's dream show. Joe on guitar with Stu Hamm on bass and Jonathan Mover on drums. It was magical. And number 4 was Heaven and Hell in Toronto in 2007. A great show. The band was on fire and Dio sang amazingly round. The opening bands were Down and Megadeth. Second time I ever saw them, Queensryche and Alice Cooper opened. And then Mark Arnold was the other person that responded. His number 1 show was Kiss Live Worldwide Tour in 97 in Edmonton, Alberta. First time seeing Kiss after being a fan for most of his life. Amazing show. Number 2, Ozzy's Retirement Sucks Tour, also in Edmonton, Alberta. First time seeing Ozzy. Zakk Wylde was shredding it up, and Ozzy was as crazy as you'd expect. Megadeth and the Rust in Peace Tour, 1990. The only time he's been able to see Megadeth, and they were at their peak. Rust in Peace was huge at the time, and the band was firing on all cylinders. And then his 4th show was the Psycho Circus Tour for Kiss. The Millennium Concert was recorded that night, Vancouver, British Columbia, 1999, December 31st, right before the
Millennium.
The Millennium.
Kramer, Newman,
Numanium.
Kramer and Numanium.
Not the best show he's seen Kiss do, but he does have it on vinyl to listen to whenever he wants to remember that day. He was working IT at the time when everyone was freaked out that all the computers were going to shut down at midnight. Of course, did not help it happen, the Y2K bug. So thanks for bringing those in, everybody. And for this episode, let us know what some of your favorite hair metal albums, or if you liked any of these ones, if you hated them, like BB hated Slippery When Wet. Let us know. Be sure to like us on Facebook, share us around. Definitely check out the Shout It Out Loudcast. They do some great work over there. The live streams, definitely check those out. They put a lot of hard work into those as well. As Dad sometimes puts hard work into it. Sometimes he wings it. But
Seat of my pants, baby. Seat of my pants.
But we appreciate everybody listening. Make sure you stay safe. Wear the masks that you have to. Social distance. Listen to some great music. Share us around. And we will see you next time. And there definitely will be a next time.